All right. What up, though? What up? What up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
People, what's happening? You know what time it is today, man. The High Alpha 2 show has gone and crossed the line into interviewing manosphere celebrities. And you know who the man is. I've been pushing him all week, been pushing him all day. We're gonna let a few more people get on in here, Ram. Because once you do this introduction, man, if they miss it, they ain't gonna get it again. Now raw like this. We'll give them a little time, man. That thing jumped up right quick there, man. I like to try to give a man maybe 5 minutes to get in, man.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
So let's see. I am Baal. What's up, man? Chuck Spencer. Chuck said he got his sandwich and his snacks. He ready to roll. Stands here. What up, man? What up, homie? AP, Chief Wildfire. Yeah, if you're in here, man, just chilling, go ahead and hit the like while you're holding it down, man. Only take a split second. Jay Fowler, what up, bro? What up? Good to have you in the stream, man. All right. Drezification. What up, Drez? Drez say he had to stay up and catch this one, man. Drez, you doing a tour, right? Money Man, what up? Jack Fromm, what's up, Alpha homie? DeRay Vicious, what's good, homie? What's good? I knew the turnout would be cold for the brother, man. I knew it. Day one little. What's good, man? Day one say he about to soak up this game like a sponge. And he ain't talking about SpongeBob either. Philosophy Extract, what up, man? Yeah, Baghdad, Iraq, man. You know what I'm saying? Hope you stay safe till you get home, man, next month, man. Or is it? Yeah. Is it April yet? Nah. In May. Yeah. Hope you make it home safe, bro. Chief Fowl, what up? One hell of a guy, man. That's one hell of a name. All right, we're gonna give him about 3 minutes, man, because I'm telling you, we ain't. I don't know if we're gonna have time to do many recaps, man. So you got to be in here, man. You got to have your face in the place. Give him a few more in here, Ram. Let them see who's gonna get here on time, on CP time anyway. Melody Alpha King, what up, Mac? He said I was just watching Ram's simplified collabo video today. That's a hell of a way to put it. Big Bean in the place. Ken 82 draw the homie. Stephen Malaysia, what up, man? What up? When that brother first came on, Ram, I called him Stephen Malejo. He said he said his name isn't Mexican. Yeah, man. Let's get the likes up when you come in, man. If you're in here, man, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. You know what it's gonna be. All right, man. That 2 minute countdown is coming. We here. Dominique Daly, what up? What up? See you in the building. Keep Cords. 2.
Shout out to Iron Ball. That's my brother right there, man.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, man. Listen, it's some brothers in this manosphere, man. Man. Hey, man. Listen, there are some brothers who don't even speak on the platform, man. Who, when they come in, it's like, whoa, man. This cat got it right here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Malaysia, I appreciate the super chat, brother. Appreciate it, no doubt. They glad to be here, man. Glad to have you here, bro. Mr. Limber Channel, the homie. The brother is in the building.
What up, Mr. Limba?
Brother got some great content on his channel, man. Y'all should go there and check it out, man. All about a dollar. What up, bro? We got the 1 minute countdown, man. We are about to get physical in this joint. 2KJ, what up, bro? Good to have you in the joint. Axman Hansen is in the building. Rodney McIntyre, Ronnie McIntyre, my bad, bro. Now I want to say any more names wrong up in here, man. Brother's taking as personally as I do. Oh man, that's it. Ding, 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 ding. Let the battle begin, man. The battle royal about to start up in here. What's up, homies? Welcome to the High Alpha 2 show. Another episode in our 30 for 30. If you are in here, you are just in time. You all know I've been advertising who my guest is today. He needs no introduction, but I will. This introduction is so cold that we're going to have to hear him do it. Brother, who do we have the pleasure of having on the show today?
BLACKRAM313 back at you again. You know why? Because this shit is therapeutic, man. Back again with another therapy session, chopping it up with my brother, Book of AlphaRonomy, homie. Read it or weep.
And there you have the reason to have your face in the place today, man. This is going to be hot. This is going to be cold. This is going to be soft. This is going to be throw. This is going to be swole, man. Glad to have you in the building. We are about to make it happen. David Bowman, first time on the joint. Glad to have you in here, brother. Omega Alpha in the building. In the building. Yo, we ain't gonna waste a whole lot of time, man. I'm gonna give you a little bit of backstory on how I began to follow the brother Black Ram. I haven't covered it before or gone into detail about it. There were two guys I followed when I first came on the platform. One was MGTOW Hybrid, who is no longer on the platform doing what he was doing then, and the brother BLACKRAM313. I actually followed MGTOW Hybrid first because somebody recommended him to me. And from his channel, I saw one of Black Ram's videos, an old video about the mind of the chauvinistic male. I can't remember the exact title, man. But when I heard, all I had to see was chauvinistic male, and I was like, hold up, there's more than one of us. There are other chauvinistic males, and I said, you know what, man? Let me go and listen to this. And I promise you, man, no, I am not exaggerating. Before I knew it, I had watched about 15 of the brothers' videos, man. It was on a Sabbath day. Didn't have nothing else to do. Watched about 15 of the brothers' videos. I subscribed to that channel and his other channel. So, brother, how's life been treating you, man?
Everyday thing, man. Just trying to maintain, keep your head above water, man. The everyday grind, trying to stay sane, walking through Babylon every day, man, and trying to keep your mind focused on the priorities, man, and statutes and commandments, and just maintaining that mind frame and just being integral and trying to get through this life, man.
Oh man, that's what's real, bro. That's what's real. I mean, that's kind of the same journey that we're all on. And so we come to this red pill manosphere to cleanse ourselves from all the beta male foolishness and the feminist foolishness that we have to deal with in this society every day, man. Without the red pill manosphere, where would we be?
For sure.
We're going to go ahead and get into this, man. I mean, the time has been advertised for a long time. I've been talking about it on every stream for the past, before I even got the brother to agree to it. I already been talking about the Black Ram interview. So you knew it was coming at some point. I've been talking about it. So we're going to get right into it, man, because this is going to be good. So the first question that I want to pose to the brother is, what is the exact situation that if there is one that occurred in your life, leading you to become a daily consumer of red pill? Because not all of us were consuming these things when we were young.
Yeah, excellent question. I want to say my journey began when I was quite young, growing up on Chicago's West Side. And in the early 80s, I was just a little bitty boy. In the early 80s, I would see players and literal and real pimps. I grew up literally right down the street from Don Magic Bishop Juan. In fact, his best friend, a gentleman who's deceased, but his best friend named Notorious T. Cadillac, a real flesh and blood pimp, hustler with women on the street corners. So I got to see how men stuck and move. And if you weren't a pimp, you had to be a player, which is a little bit different. Pimps have women out in the corner getting their money. Players deal with multiple women like a boss. So I saw that, and I didn't really get a chance to witness a whole lot of lanes, but I saw men who were masters not only of the women of their life, but their own lives as well. So I started watching pimps and then learning the game and listening to guys and how they flowed. And I idolized, unlike my peers, I looked up to guys who were older than me. A lot of guys started looking at the guy sitting right next to him. But I knew it was older guys who had more knowledge and wisdom and understanding. So I began by observation of the game, period. And not just on females, the game of life, man, how they carried themselves, how they walked, how they commanded and also demanded respect. And from there, one of the most life-changing events that happened to me, I was hanging out with a buddy of mine. In fact, a buddy that I had a fight with. And after the fight, we became good friends. And I was over his house one day, and he had an older brother. And I saw something that just knocked my socks off. His older brother was up in there with two women that I kind of was fond of at one point in time. And these two women, literally one name was Keisha, another name was Tammy. And Tammy was literally mopping his floor, and Keisha was ironing his pants. So I asked my buddy, I said, man, what the hell is going on, man? How your brother got both of these women up in here? And he explained it that he didn't know how and why, but his brother got it like that. And then I realized from watching pimps, from watching players, that there is a level of mastery, not only over yourself, but others, particularly women. And I wanted to know this information. I wanted to have this information. Even if I wouldn't use it one day, it was a mystery to me because even though I grew up around pimps and players, not everybody had that type of mastery. Nobody had that type of mastery except those pimps and players. So I sought to understand, to research and study in my own mind. So I would take mental notes. Then I had a big brother who taught me a lot about women, female nature, the game. And my big brother, he did something that was very unusual. Now, I'm not up in here trying to tell people I'm a tough guy. This is my life experience. So my big brother, who wasn't actually my real little brother, but a guy who lived next door, who kind of took me under his wing. And KP Patton said BLACKRAM used to see Don Juan on Austin and Erie all the time. Shout out to you, KP Patton. Absolutely. You know what I'm talking about. I grew up right in K-Town around Washington, Carson, if you know what that is. K-Town. But anyway, so my big brother, guy who lived next door, he would take me around the neighborhood for the cruel reason of simply fighting guys my age. Listen, there was no rhyme or reason for it. He just wanted me to go around the neighborhood and fight. And when I asked him about, like, why I got to fight these guys 2-3 times a week? And he said, because I want you to get your respect. So when you get older, won't nobody F with you. I lost some, but I won most. Going around the neighborhood, boxing. And his goal, my big brother, was for me to have mastery over women and demand the respect from men. Because in that neighborhood, that was everything. Everything. Not just being willing to fight, but knowing how to fight. K-Town, West Side, Chicago. And not only dealing with women, but mastery over women. So then as I got older, of course, you a grown man, you know, you develop other associations and you get away from that. You know, for a while, I dealt with an unruly crowd. Didn't really get caught up too much in illegal activities. However, I did run with crowds that maybe I shouldn't have. And I had that whole experience. But as I got older and more mature, I kind of left the whole idea of those things alone. And then one day, I don't know what happened, man. I think I saw a television program about pickup artists. So I got this book by Neil Strauss called The Game. And as I was reading this book called The Game, I was getting more and more upset. Because in essence, everything that I've learned on the street from players and hustlers, my observation of pimps, these guys, these Europeans, these white boys, found a way to attach names to it. That's how they do when they attach names to something, and therefore they own it. They define something and own it. They attach names to it, and they made it theirs. And I was like, damn, they actually monetized game and put it in the book. I'm like, wow, why couldn't we as brothers think of that? So as I read this, I became intrigued by it, only because it was things that I've already heard, things that guys in my neighborhood did naturally. So then I started watching a little YouTube, and I don't know exactly how, but I came across this guy named Barbarossa. MGTOW, men going their own way. Now, these guys swore off relationship with women. Now, let me say this. I was never an official MGTOW per se, because I've always believed in dealing with women with this one caveat. I believed always in dealing with women from a position of strength. And I also inherently, from where I grew up, not only believe in dealing with women from a position of strength, but at your own terms, on your own terms, rather. Now, what I learned from the MGTOW community, so I was there early when Barbarossa was first getting out there. A lot of guys, no disrespect to anybody, but I'm not one of those guys who found this 2 years ago. I started listening to MGTOW and information on female nature via YouTube back in 2011. And it wasn't until 2013 when I decided to make videos, but I had long been in the MGTOW community. So a lot of guys come and, they talk about, MGTOW and Ibmore, and they think they know a lot. But I've been here for a long time. I mean, it's 2018. I've been making videos since 2013. I've been in the community since 2011. So I ran into Barbarossa. Then I ran into Stardust. Then I ran into Adigone Forest and a guy by the name of Last Crucible. And a lot of things they were saying about female nature resonated with me. And I had a lot to say, but I would never do a video. I'd be like a lot of people, just making comments in the comment section, supporting the videos, watching a lot of it. And then I realized one day that I have all of these thoughts, all these ideas, and all this to say, but I did not have a body of work. I did not have an expression of my ideas, my philosophies, and my worldview. So I decided to make a YouTube channel to pull together my experiences, what I've learned, not only from the PUA crowd, the MGTOW crowd, but also as I learned growing up, watching other men walk through life and handling their business. So I decided I had something I wanted to add to the community. So my first video was a video entitled Women Want Chaos, because I had figured out, now I had no one else had did a video like that before. It was always a mystery about what women wanted. Although people were exploring female nature for a while, I came out with a video saying women want chaos. Now people use that term a lot now. And that video did well. And before you know it, I was making pretty much a video a month. Now, I still don't have a whole lot of videos on my channel, so I'm surprised by this. Most people who have a lot of subs have about over 17,000 subs now. A lot of people, a lot of subs have 200 videos, 3, 4, 500,000 videos. But I literally only have about 160 videos from 2013. So people responded well to the message. And when I first started off, I was just making videos about 10, 15 minutes. I really didn't go in depth. And then as people started appreciating the content more, I decided to go way more in depth inside of female nature, because I was a student, still am, a student of female nature, because I found the female mind intriguing. I've always been the type of guy, and this is no bragging, but I've always been the type of guy who really, really loved women. Some guys, coochie is okay. Some guys, coochie is pretty good. But for me, I really enjoyed it. And not just for the sake of my own gratification. I enjoyed a female. I enjoyed her smell. Enjoyed the soft voice, and still enjoy the soft voice, the smell, the shape, the curves, her feet, her breast. Everything about a woman I appreciate highly. The only issue is the mentality. But I appreciated women a lot. So I decided to study them, not make them a priority, but study them. And I'm not talking about the adoration as of worship. No, I worship the Creator. I'm talking about the type of adoration that a man should have for a woman, to appreciate the body of a woman, and even to some degree, even a woman's mind to a degree. See, the only issue I have with women, because I really do adore women, and guess what? Contrary to popular belief, I adore black women. I think black women are the most beautiful women on the planet, hands down. However, as a chauvinist male, as an alpha male, as a red pill male, I will not tolerate disrespect from women. I will not tolerate the worship and pedestalization of women. They need to be in their proper place. And when a woman is in her proper place, there is no competition, especially a black female. No competition. Nobody can outcook a black female. No woman can outsex a black female. She can't outsmell a black female. She cannot outlook a black female. She cannot outcurve a black female. She is superior in every way. The problem is her mind had been hijacked. So I wanted to warn the brothers and tell the brothers about this hijacking. Hijacked by what, you may ask? White supremacy. Corrupted her mind. She drank the Kool-Aid as Satan in the Garden of Eden convinced Eve to turn against the Most High and turn against her man. So did white supremacy convince our Eve, the mother of all living, the black woman, to turn against her God and her Savior, which is the black man. So I wanted to preach and teach and tell the brothers about these experiences. And I realized that there were a lot of men who lacked fundamental and basic understanding of female behavior. So I wanted to uncover the underlying characteristics, the building blocks that make up everything that is woman. To uncover that, to expose, reveal, so that men can have an advantage. Because what I saw is that men were heavily disadvantaged. Women were a mystery to most men, most simps and most blue pillars. Women were a mystery. And I wanted to unlock and uncover to give a guy some sort of fighting chance, because women are masters at social manipulation. They're social creatures. They're masters at relationships. They have all the experiences. The odds are always in their favor. It's their world. So I wanted to give guys a chance to level the playing field, so to speak. So I wanted to take the knowledge and understanding that I had, that I was blessed to see female nature. I was blessed to hear about game. I was blessed to experience it. Now, of course, I've had my share of ups and downs. I experienced a lot of trial and error. I experienced a lot of heartbreak from women, a lot of disappointments. And I realized my heartbreaks and disappointments came only when I didn't adhere to certain standards, certain principles, certain rules that every man should have and every man should follow. So my type of going my own way, which I am more, my type of mixer wasn't the type of guy that swore off women. Instead, not swearing off women, but inviting women again on my terms, not falling into the traps, the pitfalls, the snares that is female nature. When you realize that you have not only her nature to fight against, her white supremacist mindset to fight against, the whole society to fight against, your back is against the wall. So I wanted to give brothers all that I could, do my part, and have my life mean something other than listening to the content, but expose myself, to give of myself. And that's what a lot of people probably don't understand. I know my subscribers really appreciate me, but my idea is this: who I am, what I have in my heart, what I have in my mind, my experiences, I sincerely, because I love my brothers, I try to sincerely give them the best that I can out of love for the brothers. And why do I love my brothers? Because you look just like me. And it extends, it's firstly to my brothers and then to everybody else. I don't care if you're Mexican, white, Indian, Chinese, but primarily I love my brothers and I wanted to give them something for myself. You know how we always talk about what the black man ain't doing, what we don't have. I wanted to give something. I'm not rich, I don't have the finances, but I can give brothers back something over social media. So here's the thing. a lot of young men have come to my channel saying how they've been helped. Older guys too. So this is my gift to everybody else, to take what's within me and to share it with my brothers, and they appreciate it. So now I feel like all of us are a family. Then I ran across people like I Am Ball and many other brothers, and then guys in the comments section, um, all the different subscribers and commentators. So now I feel like we're one big family, and not just me and them, but the other men and gentlemen on YouTube whose goal is the same thing: male empowerment. So everybody who's commenting on my comments section, everybody who's in this comment section today, right now, expanded to all my subscribers, my goal was to give you something because we're family. So you have a wealth of information. So one day I'm watching YouTube, and I believe in the suggestion box, I think I seen your logo, and I think you also commented on one of my videos. And I said, well, let me check this dude out. And as I listened to your videos, Book of AlphaRonomy BOA, I'm like, wow, me and this guy share the same alpha spirit. And we've been in this since then. So how I got started is just a desire to support and give to the brotherhood. And this is why we started it more. This is why I have my channel. This is why you and I are communicating today. Because, and I'm not afraid to say this, it may be a little mushy, but I'm doing this because I love my brothers. Everybody that's in this live stream today, everybody who's subbed to my channel, this is why I do this. I love you guys. And I look at these guys as family in one spirit, because it's not too many red pill men out here. We are rare. We are different. And guess what? All we got is us. And that's all we need. So that's my thing. That's how I got into it, because I wanted to give of myself. I wanted to make a mark in the brotherhood. I wanted to do my part in Black male empowerment, expanding and not limiting to that, but also expanding to male empowerment. And that's been my thing. Whether you're Latino, whether you're white, it expands to that. So that's how I got my start, man. I just wanted to give of myself, and I enjoy doing it. And I've been doing this for about the last 5 or 6 years. Back to you, bro.
Did I not tell you that we were going to get into the man behind the ram? If this is not what you came for, are you not entertained? Brother, that was deep, man, from top to bottom. And it's just another reason that I look at you and say that me and this brother have pretty much had the same walk to this point. Because I started myself, man, with, I was taught this game by real true pimps. Real true pimp. Like my first rap name was I named myself after one of Iceberg Slim's partners, Boss Gang. He had family in Alabama where I'm from. So, we're talking, once you get it from the source and you see it work, man, how can you deny it? Now, there's one question I have, bro. You got the game early. Did you use the game on the first woman you ever dealt with? Or did it take you a minute? Did you have to mature and to start using the game?
Man, actually, what my big brother did, he forced me into a situation. And believe it or not, this first girl, if I remember correctly, I think her name was Trina. If anybody knows the meaning of that name, they can write it in. They can type it in the comments section. But her name was Trina, and she was a little bit older than me, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was her name. And my big brother came and got me and said, "Hey, I got this girl. I want you to talk to her." And at the time, I'm in 6th grade, so I think I'm about 12 years old. In my 6th grade career, going into the 7th grade. He said, "Come and talk to this girl." And when I saw her, man, she was so pretty. I mean, she was a red bone with nice long hair, beautiful. And this girl was actually my big brother's girlfriend's sister. Pretty as can be, man. And he said, "Go in there and talk to her." So I tried to, so what I did, I went and put on some corduroys, put on this turtleneck shirt, and put on some cologne. I think I drowned myself in it. And I went and tried to talk to her, and I was stumbling on my words, and she laughed at me. I had messed it up because she saw how I wasn't confident enough. Although I had been learning stuff, she saw I wasn't confident enough. And it kind of turned off, but I liked it a lot. And so my first experience, I got an L. And after that, I got many more L's until I got used to and came into the person that I was. And as I got more assertive, as I got older, then those L's turned to W's. And at one point, I started winning so much that I didn't even have to work at it. I literally had girls coming to my house looking for me, literally. And it got to the point that in my neighborhood, the older women who were mothers were warning their daughters to stay away from me because I was a very mannish and lustful young man. And at the time when I was younger, now I'm talking about 14, 15, 16, my goal was to sleep with many as women as possible. I want to sleep with as many women as possible, many girls as possible. And I would do, you know, I never would simp for it. But since women thought that I was cute and I had a little game, I kind of got a lot of girls in the neighborhood. And it didn't take long for me to get a reputation of a ladies' man and a player. Because for me, women were an addiction, a real addiction. I'm talking about just as addictive as sugar. And I got to the point as I became a teenager, I had this weird thought, man. This was before Lil Wayne. Weird thought. I said, man, I want to be with every pretty woman in the world. I want pretty much every woman I see. And it wasn't just for my own gratification. Man, I'm on the bus in the summertime looking at women's pretty feet. I got a severe foot fetish. And I'm looking at the way a woman talk. I'm looking at the way a woman chews on a Twizzler. I've developed a real addiction to the point where almost more than anything, I've thought about women. Not just one. No, man. I like strawberry. I like chocolate. I like butter pecan. And that's how I looked at women. And I'm like, wow. At one point, I had a real problem. This is how I learned I had a problem. I was watching a girl walk past, and I was plotting. And a guy walked up to me, an older guy who would give me advice from time to time. His name is Sam, older gentleman. Sam walked up to me and said, your eyes will never be full. And I'm like, what? What this old man talking about? And he left me alone. And then it wasn't until like a year or two later that I got exactly what he meant. I mean, I'm like 16, 17. What the hell he talking about? My eyes will never be full. And I realized that all of this soulful and sensual lust I had for a woman would never be satisfied. So that's when the addiction started. So I realized that I had to get, not that I was simp for a woman. The difference between me and the next guy was this. I knew guys who would get involved in illegal activity for the express reason and goal to get women. In my neighborhood in the 90s and in the early 2000s when I was a young man, the goal was to get the Pelly jacket, if people know what that is, the 150 hat, the Jordans, and to get the box Chevy with rims, Broham Chevy, put a new grill on it, tint the windows, lift it up, 30s and Vogues at the time, or going from 30s and Vogues to 20s, because there was a time when 20s was the biggest you can go, believe it or not. And to put the 15s in the trunk, 2 15s, an amp, and beat down the block for the express reason to lure women. So they would involve themselves in illegal activity for such, literally risking their lives to do that in the box Chevy. So I'm like, wow, not only do I have this addiction, but they have it, but I would never go to those lengths to impress and please a woman. Never. But I would see how easy it was for those guys in my neighborhood to get with the women, but I had to use game, which was still successful. I even had drug dealers coming to me telling me that, hey, man, I sell drugs and you still get better women than me at the time. I don't know exactly how that worked out, but that's how it happened. But anyway, I realized I had a real, true addiction. And that addiction has continued into adulthood. And this is what I mean by addiction. Not that I would go and simp and all of this. But I really had to get control of my insatiable appetite to bed women. Hence my channel, and hence the term therapy session. Not to brag, but I was the first person to ever call my channel therapy. Why? Because I wanted to break the addiction. And oh yeah, I'm much better now. Now I don't know if I can contribute that to my less testosterone level now heading being 40, or if I can contribute that to red pill knowledge. But I had to come down off of my addiction because it was real addiction. Again, not that I was simping out. I had my times when I took some L's, but I really, really, really enjoy women. For me, after getting some, money to live and eat and all that, my next thing is laying with a woman. For me, other than getting on my knees to praise the Most High and being able to eat and have my necessities, the only thing after that for me that's enjoyable is laying next to the bed in the bed with a pretty woman. That was my thing. But I knew I had to not be so insatiable about that. I never shared these stories with anybody else either, BOA. I never had this type of question, so I'm just letting you know. But yeah,
that's good looking out, man. Good looking out. Yo, man, listen. If you are in here, let me send a shout out to a couple of brothers right quick. C. Douglas, appreciate the $5 super chat. KP Patton, same thing, $5 super chat. Appreciate you, brothers. Willing to part with your hard-earned money. You don't have to do it, but you choose to do it, which makes it even better, man. And as you can see, the brother Black Ram has had quite a journey to where he is. And if you listen to his story, you can see why many of us in the manosphere refer to him as the OG. And I know some cats that are older than Ram, they refer to him as the OG. You know your OG status when older cats refer to you as the OG. So, man, I'll go over here in the chat and see what they're saying right quick. Ram, you did spend quite a bit at the mic right there, man. I'm going to give you a chance to regroup from that a little bit.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm going to step away just for a minute or two.
Okay, bet.
All right.
All right, man. Like I told you guys, man, it was going to be real. It was going to be thorough. It was going to be true. And it was going to be red pill as hell. And that's what it is. Let's see, a lot of people in here, man. Ziggy One-Ton, Darius, Rich, Barris Booker, Shabar 1983. Cats in here everywhere, man. Let's see, Dan Naga, Skeeter the Great, Mike Gates, LHB in here, Curious Calico, Real Estate Student, Cougar Killer. Hell of a name right there, man, Cougar Killer. Man, SJ3 is in the building, Matthew Odom. Truth as I know it. That's the only truth that matters, bro. Why when cats want to come through and debate and do all of that, man, I ain't got time for all of that, man. This is my truth as I know it. Nothing you say to me is going to change my truth as I know it, because it's based on all the years of experience I've had in life. And unless you can sit down and talk to me for that many years, nothing you say is going to change my outlook. We're going to agree on some things, and things we don't agree on, just going to be it. Timothy Hicks Jr., Mikey James, Mickey James.
Yeah, I'm back, BOA.
Okay, bet. We are in the building. Kobe, I see you in here, brother. Carl Cheese, I see you in here as well. UFO Kamikaze 1, the homie is in it.
Let me ask a favor from the guys in the chat room and everybody listening. Gentlemen, if you are here, I just want to know, I'm curious. If you are here as a courtesy to my promo and you are from my channel, I want you to do two things, if you will. If you're here from my channel, drop a number 1 in the chat. And if you are here from my channel and you are not subscribed to the Book of AlphaRonomy, I want to ask you to subscribe. The Ram is not going to steer you wrong. This gentleman, Book of AlphaRonomy, has a lot of wisdom and knowledge to share. Soak up the game. He is the real deal. I am the same man who told everybody that Alpha Male Strategies was the real deal. The same man. And I'm the same man telling you to watch his earlier videos and watch his live stream, because I'm here to tell you that the Book of AlphaRonomy is the real deal. Appreciate that, brothers.
Hey man, I appreciate that, brother. I definitely appreciate that vote of confidence, man. And if you are anything like me, you will, at the very least, take enough heed to what the brother Black Ram says to investigate it for yourself. After then, the choice is yours. But he has never told me something was good, and I went back to him and said, "Bro, you lied. That sucked." Hasn't happened. So we're gonna get into the second question, brother. If you're ready to roll with it.
Sure.
All right. The second question is, what or who? Well, you know what? You covered the second question in the first one, bro. All right, let's kill some time. Let's let nail them on down right quick. All right, we'll move on, man. Do you believe that the true blue pill simp, I mean the blue pill simp to heart, raised by the single mother, never exposed to the game as a youth, I mean, who really believes that being a blue pill simp, he feels the way about being a blue pill simp that we feel about being a red pill man. Do you ever believe that that man can become a true red pill man and not just a man who uses red pill game to, change some situations in his life?
I think it would take a miracle. So let's unpack that for a minute. So when your average blue pillar is born, we have 70% of births from single mothers. And a lot of times when a male is born, black male, his mother is the only real influence because the daddy isn't there because she's made a poor choice. Daddy might be in prison doing time or just simply did not want a child. Or if he is around, his access to his child is extremely limited. Child support, restraining orders, because you know how the black female can get under our skin sometimes. But whatever the cause, a male influence is rare or extremely limited. And in many cases, the father's a blue pillar. So you're born a beta. More than likely got a blue pill simp father that's not around. And you have your feminist disdain for men mama because she made poor choices. So now she believes that every black man is a poor choice. So also along with that, mama has a sister and her friends. So he's getting a lot of feminine energy. He getting it from his mama. He getting this from auntie. He getting it from his sister. Then when he goes to school, he sees all female teachers. He sees women pedestalized all throughout his neighborhood. Then he listens to these R&B songs that claim women are to be above men. Then he listens to the European gynocentric society that are feminist and gynocentric. He gets those messages. He looks at movies, media, and TV, and he sees the pedestalization, the worship, and the idolatry that is the worship of females. Now, this has been programmed into him from day one. And then all his experiences are of a gynocentric nature. So then this guy runs into red pill information. Red pill information in which most women reject. So the information cannot even penetrate his mind because all the women around him, they are afraid for that information to take root. So what you have now, and people really don't believe me when I say this, man, but if you just take a sample from your life is a microcosm of the rest of society. So if you take an example from your life, you will see that beta, male, blue pill simps are not just a majority. I'm talking about 95 percentile. And then don't go to church. Oh my goodness. Don't go to church. You will be completely feminized there. Completely. So, with all of those things, with all of those challenges, it's like a man trying to swim against a strong river's current alone. No rope and no help. Extremely difficult to do. So much so that I believe that you don't choose the red pill. I say again, you do not choose the red pill. No, 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 no. The red pill chooses you. Because how can one fight against all of these obstacles and come out with a red pill mindset? Almost impossible to do because simping is everywhere. 95 to 99 percentile. The red pill, the manisphere, we are as rare as diamonds, even more rare, because you are fighting against the mind programming. You're fighting against societal norms, more ways, folk ways, and values. And it's more than a notion to have the strength, intestinal fortitude, the gumption, the bravery, the courage to be a red pill alpha chauvinistic male who demands respect from everybody. Extremely difficult. So what we have here now is not only a rarity, but what you have here are champions. Every red pill male is a champion. Because in your red pill thinking, you will be challenged, you will be tested, you will be tried. And if you can come out with your red pill knowledge and understanding intact, upholding red pill principles now, upholding uncompromising manhood principles now, upholding alpha principles now, you are indeed once again a champion possessing now true power. Power that is within, not needing validation from women, not needing validation from friends, not needing validation from family, living your life by your own rules, adhering to principles, going through trials and tribulations still. A woman wants you to change your alpha maleness, change your principles, or she's going to leave you. And you said, go ahead on and hit the door, although it may hurt you, although being rejected by friends and family, being an outcast. Again, I say, you are a champion. Everyone within the sound of my voice, everybody in the comment section, everybody listen, you are a champion. Again, the red pill chooses you, and you walk it out and you live it. This is true strength, true power. So when I'm talking to a brother like Book of AlphaRonomy, when guys are in the comment section, I'm amongst real men and real champions. And it is my honor and my pleasure to be amongst giants, amongst great men. And let me say this real quick. A guy just asked, why do I never show my face? The reason why I don't show my face is because it is about the message and not the messenger. And let me make this correction. I have shown my face before. I have a video on my YouTube channel, BLACKRAM313, called Books in My Personal Library. And I sit in front of a camera for about an hour because I couldn't show my books without being seen. But again, it's about the message and not about the messenger. But I have shown my face only once, though. But that's the point. I'm amongst champions, and it is indeed my pleasure. Again, the red pill chooses you. You don't choose the red pill. Because how else can you explain our mindset going against the program? Listen, we're going against the grain. We're against the whole world. The red pill, whether you MGTOW, IBMOR, Alpha, it's the red pill against the world. How can you not be a champion? How can you not be chosen? Yes, indeed, we are elites. And it's a beautiful thing. Back to you, BOA.
Man, that is church. That is the gospel. And I know that you are satisfied with your therapy session so far because I am telling you, I have figured out some things to do in my own life as well. And I'm telling you, therapy is a good thing for you, man. Even when you don't think you need therapy, you need therapy. None of us is perfect. If you are a perfect man, then forego your therapy. If you are not, if therapy does nothing else for you, it causes you to reinforce your own beliefs, to look at your life and either approve or disapprove of the way you are going currently. And that is the purpose of therapy. Therapy is not meant to chastise you or cause you to not believe in yourself. Therapy is meant to give you what you need in order to make those changes that you need to make in your life. And I'll be honest with you, I've listened to a lot of red pill content providers, and I've never heard anyone else call uh, their content therapy. So I have to agree with the brother on that. He's the originator of that one. So, brother, this is even one of the questions, man. But this is something you can tackle real quick, man. Is it as bad in Chicago as the media would make it seem, as the hyperbole and propaganda makes it seem?
Actually, I would say it's worse because what you don't hear about is the multiple shootings and robberies. So in Chicago, we only hear about, you may hear only in the national news, even the local news if you live here, Chicago. You're only going to hear probably about the most egregious of crimes. You're probably going to only hear about the murders and the amount of murders. But nobody is talking about all of the carjackings, all of the armed robbery. And Chicago is huge for armed robberies. If you want to know what the main benefit is in Chicago besides illegal street drugs, it's armed robbery, strong armed robbery, whether they're robbing grocery stores, convenience stores, and people on the buses, on the trains, for cell phones. This is a stick 'em up city. So much so, it's very rare to know somebody who lives within the city limits who hasn't been robbed at least once in their lifetime. That's how bad it is. That's everybody's MO. And I've never had it happen to me, but of course, it has to be a terrible feeling to have a gun stuck in your face. So I want to say that it's probably even worse in Chicago than the media portrays. And even the police themselves, when they report the numbers, they try to make it seem as less than what it is. So this is a blue state, not only just blue pill, but a very liberal state, and a lot of crime and a lot of violence. I would not recommend anyone to live within the city limits of Chicago. And the state of Illinois is a terrible place to live. It's cold. It's always cloudy. The people are mean. The taxes are high. The roads are bad. The infrastructure is falling. It's a terrible place to live. This is when they say Chirac, they ain't playing. Certain neighborhoods, as a black man, certain neighborhoods, as soon as you roll up, they're looking all in your car. And let's say, for instance, and this happened to me many times. Let's say I meet a woman on a certain part of town, south side of Chicago, because there's a little bit difference between the south and west side. If I'm rolling up in Inglewood and I'm going to see a little chick or something, the guys that stand on the block, they literally looking all up in your car. And this is what they're going to say, and I quote, "Who is dude?" I'm going to talk a little bit like them. "Who is dude? Hey, dude, who you is? What you is?" Like, man, I'm just coming to see Shorty right here. "Oh, man, you coming to see Shorty? Man, you better get up out of here." Like, man, I'm just coming to see Shorty. So as soon as you pull up, and here, black men are really against each other, man. Here, I learned this mentality, and I've been trying to change it. Most of the time when I see another black man, I speak, because I've been taught and learned from observation and just the way things are, that any black man that you don't know is your enemy. And the ones you don't know, you got to watch them, because they're your enemies too. And most of the guys that I know that are dead or who are locked up is because their homie killed them or their homie snitched on them. So as a black man in Chicago, enemies only. Females are against you. They'll set you up too. They will set you up. You get a nice little shorty, especially if you're in that lifestyle. If you're holding the bag and you got a chick at your crib and she up with some other guys while you in that sleep, as you done did your thing, she letting the guys in the back door. I done seen it happen over and over and over again. And next to armed robbery is kidnapping. So let's say I got a spot and I got workers. Some of the guys gonna come and get your workers and hold them for ransom. And you got to come up with that dough. Here it's animal like, man. It's brutal. Most of the guys I grew up with are either dead or doing serious time behind bars. And the ones who aren't doing serious time behind bars and they're older, they're strung out on illegal street drugs. So I want to say this: a lot of black men in Chicago are broken. Now you do have guys that's doing their thing. I'm not gonna lie about that. You do have some guys that's doing well, but you got a lot of guys that are completely broken. So yeah, it's more than the notion, man. I wouldn't recommend this place for nobody. And I'm only here for a few reasons. One, because my daughter's here, and I make a halfway decent amount of money, man. But it's rough here, man. Most high willing, when I'm able to, I will not be spending the rest of my life. Shout out to Mike Gates from the West Side of Chicago as well. I will not be spending the rest of my life here. Most high willing, it's too much. It's too the cost is too great. Crime, drugs, violence, high taxes. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's really no good reason to live in Chicago unless you really, really have to. And the only time Chicago can be somewhat pleasant, you literally need to be making six figures for Chicago to be even somewhat pleasant. And Chicago is one of the most segregated cities in the United States of America, period. And another thing about Chicago is all about nepotism. In other words, if you're not related to somebody and you don't know somebody, it is extremely difficult to get a decent job. And if you have a felony, forget it. You can forget it. It's over with for you. No student loans, no job is gonna hire you. Forget about it. Forget about it. So yeah, it is extremely difficult living and surviving in Chicago. I've been fortunate enough to make a little bit more money that could afford me to live in the western suburbs. So I live in a very clean and safe neighborhood. Glory to Yah. So I'm not forced to be in those situations. However, I have a lot of family members who are in that situation. I work within the city. So it's rough, man. I see Red Pill Lifesaver in here. Shout out to him. He's been rocking with me from the beginning on my channel. But yeah, it's a rough place, man.
That's a live report there, man. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that says a lot, man, because I mean, there is a picture painted of that city, man, as if it is a complete and total war zone. And if you being there saying it's worse than that, man, it's almost like, man, how can a place that houses so many of us, so many of our people, become that? You know, it just goes to show that the power we think we have in this country, man, we don't have as much as we are leading ourselves to believe we have. We still have a long climb, man, to make any type of substantial difference in this society.
For sure.
So, Mike Gates, man, appreciate the super chat, man, rolling in from West Side Chicago. Hey, yo, do you ever leak up with any of these cats from Chicago, man, like in person?
Not yet. Probably in the future. And actually, one of these days, I'll probably announce it on my channel at some point. One of these days, I would like for some guys to link up and maybe take a trip somewhere, whether it's Dominican Republic or even Vegas or something like that. So hopefully one day that'll happen. And by the way, we got about 153 people watching. I want to ask the people to get them likes up. 154 now. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. And yeah, KP Patton said, West Side, born and raised in Oak Park. KP, what's up, man?
That's what's up. All right, man. So let's see, man. I'm gonna get to a couple questions here, man. You've been, you know how things can get, man, when you go on vocally like that for a minute. Yeah, football junkie is in here, man. Don Bosselin. I think I already shot Don out, but anyway, Chemical JDZ, Rich like 412, B Muni. You know, the people rolling on through. As you said, Mr. Red Pill Base. It's truth, man. He been rolling with me for a minute as well. But if he hadn't been rolling with me for a minute, he's all over the comments like he has, so I can't tell it. You know, if he's been rolling with me 6 months, it seems like a year. All right, man. All right, we're gonna go ahead, man. We don't want to run this thing a little bit long here, man. Let's see here, man. Next question here. Listen, like I told you guys, man, I was going to interview the brother. Let him speak because, hell, I'm just as interested as you are in knowing the man behind the ram. And at some point, I think there'll be a need for me to expose the man behind the book. But right now, we're dealing with the man behind the ram. All right, next question is, do you think black women, and this is, I came with this question after a stream I did recently because I got a little back flack from the Alpha brothers behind this one, man, from the Red Pill brothers.
Mhm.
Do you think black women would still be the way they are if the beta male simp mangina didn't exist with his pedestalization of her?
Wow, that's an excellent question. Real quick, Ghosting by Black said, meet up with Darius. I talked to Darius on the phone. Me and Darius Migto plan to link up this summer, just to let him know that. Man,
Yeah.
so the simp. Now, see, I've thought about this before, and I was actually going to do a video about it at some point in time, but I'll share my thoughts now. Um, I believe that the power, of course, behind her arrogance, the power behind her attitude, the fuel for the fire, her base, her support, her fans, her worshipers, the blue pill simp is, I want to say, 50% of the reason behind who and what she is. The other 50% goes to the government, um, social norms and paradigms. In other words, it's the female double minority who gets hired for the job first. Why? Because she's more docile. She'll listen to the white man more. So she gets preferential treatment and preferential hiring for the jobs. So that puts her forward economically. A black man has to work 10, 15, 20 times as hard. So now she's favored economically. She has the support of the government. She has the support of family members, friends. She can fail at no point. And because of this unrelenting uh, support system, because of this juggernaut that we call gynocentrism, she has no reason to change. She has no reason to even be cordial, no reason to respect you, because most people are going to just, well, most blue pill simps anyway, are just going to worship at her feet anyway. So your question is, do I think black women would still be the way they are if it wasn't for the simp? Nah. The simp has almost everything to do with it. And I'm going to say the biggest simp of all, I mentioned it before, the biggest simp of all is daddy government. That's the biggest simp in the world. So if it wasn't for that, then she would have to depend on the generosity and the care and the concern of other of us men just to survive. Period. The government has taken the authority out of our hands, and what I mean by authority, you have no authority over a woman truly, and we can assert authority and we can demand their respect. I'm not saying that you can boss up and demand a respect. However, real authority comes from, gentlemen, real authority over a woman comes from being able to control rewards and punishment. Now, we do this in our own way. If a woman act up, there are ways in a relationship that you can punish her. Yes, indeed. But we have to thoroughly be able to control that. And since most beta males will not, cannot, don't know how to reward and properly punish a woman, they do not know how to properly, and let me say this word, they do not have the ability to properly train a woman, then she's going to run wild. Just like a kid. If a kid comes up and without the proper discipline, if you don't institute self-control and respect, what is a child naturally going to do? A child is going to naturally run over you. Naturally. So the female, because we haven't asserted ourselves, because we have so many blue pillars, what does the woman do? She runs right over you. Your average black female has zero respect for any black male. And she only looks at you as a utility, something to be used because you are setting yourself up to be that, except us red pill guys. But yeah, the simp, oh man, he's everything. Here go the thing. A woman is never, ever, ever held responsible. It has to be responsible for all her bad decisions. So say you got Trina. When she's in her teenage years, in her 20s, she wants to sleep with this popular guy, that popular guy. This drug dealer, that drug dealer. This guy that play ball, that guy that play ball. And somewhere along the lines, because she doesn't demand condom usage, she gets pregnant. So now we got first baby daddy and second baby daddy. And in some cases, third and fourth baby daddy. Now Trina is 36, 37 years old. And she's been with 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 men. She's been ran through. That vag is a minefield. Blown through. Blasted. That thing is beat to death. That wound is polluted. And here go the thing. Not only does she have 3 kids, 3 baby daddy. I said this before. I think the plural form of baby daddy is baby daddy I. So she got several baby daddies, probably. And now she's gained weight. She's a big girl now. So now she has kids. She big. She funky. She got attitude. And guess what? Some beta male simp is still gonna fly down, swoop down, and save her. Gonna wife her up and take care of her kids. And I've seen this over and over again. I know guys with no kids. Not that having a man having kids mean that there's some equality there. No. I'm a chauvinist. Remember that. But I've seen guys with no kids, great career, and a great income. Wife up single mama, take care of her kids, and still get dumped at the end of the day. And on to the next guy. What is my point of saying all of this? My point is that she cannot lose. Impossible for her to lose. So because of the simp, she doesn't have to say, well, let me get myself together. Well, let me not have so many kids. Let me use birth control. Well, maybe I shouldn't let these guys skeet up in me. Or maybe I shouldn't date so many guys. Or maybe I shouldn't sleep with so many guys. She doesn't have to say that. There's literally no consequence. Zero. And here goes the thing. If she got all of these kids and she falls short and is too lazy to go to work or loses a job because of a bad character, the government gonna take care of her. Government gonna take care of her. Fully. Food, clothing, and shelter. So there's no way she has to be responsible for her immaturity, her promiscuity, and anything that accompanies that. And I try to tell guys this. And a lot of guys don't believe me. When it comes to things of this nature, the female wins. Yeah, she's naturally subordinate. But because she's propped up like the government, like a bank, too big to fail, she can't lose. Show me one area in life where a female is losing. Well, you would say, well, she hit the wall and have a bunch of kids. She still ain't losing. You know why she still ain't losing? Because again, there's going to be a beta male simp that's still going to find value in a woman whose wound has been blown open by the variety of men. No grip. And the guy still would think that thing is valuable. A bunch of kids, snotty nose, stank, hair need to be combed, bad manners, running around the house. A guy still gonna make that his woman. She can't lose. So the best thing to do is stay away from situations like that. But she can't lose. This is her time. This is her world. This is her day. What we can do as men is still stand on our principles, our ideals, and stand strong. However, it is still her day. Back to you, BOA.
Oh man, that's it, man. You know, I'm telling you, brother, it's crazy how now. I mean, of course, we are two different men from two different backgrounds, two different walks of life, two different cities. You know, two different mothers, fathers, two different everything. But the amount of things that we actually agree on is still staggering. You know, it's almost like, man, like, you know, maybe somebody mama lying. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the dad ain't really the dad. You know what I'm saying?
Cut from the same cloth, right?
Exactly. I went up to the homie Ghost God in here, man. He said his cousin owned a trucking company, wiped up a single mother or two, gave her money as a down payment for a house, and now he lives there with her and sold his own house. Perfect example of that sim. Perfect example, man.
Wow.
That was something you mentioned there, brother, that I want to, you know, get you to answer pretty quickly here. You talked about how women don't care about making a man strap up. I made mention of this, man, to the guys in the chat, man, that out of all the women I've been with, man, and there are at least hundreds. If I counted them, maybe there would be thousands. I mean, I ain't a spring chicken. I ain't in my 20s, so it's not, too tough when you're chasing at point in your life. It's easy to rack them up. So only one woman, man, in my history has been the reason that I strapped up. It's always been choice. No woman has even asked if I had a condom, except that one woman. How many women would you say, numbers or percentage wise, have demanded that you strap up and not left the choice strictly up to you?
Man, this gonna sound crazy, bro. But one, maybe two
Wow.
out of hundreds. One, maybe two out of hundreds. And here go the thing. If I strapped up the first time, it was optional the second time. And of course, they getting hit by every which way from these guys.
Yeah.
Now I've dealt with, and I'm not proud of this. Man, I'm not proud of this. I'm not bragging about. So I just want to illustrate a point. I've dealt with women with boyfriends, and it was left to me, and husbands. Again, this is wrong. I do not advocate dealing with a married woman or a woman who has a man. I am 100% against that. However, in my ignorance, so I'm not bragging, in my ignorance, in my stupidity, where I deserve death, I was one to deal with a woman under any circumstance, whether she had a husband, a boyfriend, or whatever. And a lot of women I dealt with had boyfriends or husbands. And it did not matter if I strapped up at all. Husbands now. Husbands. And to me, just personally, if you really think about it, it's a nasty thing to deal with a woman that has a man. I mean, he done skeeted all in her, and he done did this and did that, and you go in her too, that's terrible. Even if you wear a condom. Think about this. Everybody know what a fleshlight is, right? Everybody know what that is, right? And I never used one, but I know what it is. If 4 or 5 men has left, and I don't want to get vulgar, but if 4 or 5 men have left semen in something, whether you're wearing a condom or not, why would you want to run up in that? Why would you want somebody's semen even near you? Period. Period. Now think about that for a minute. But you got women with 2 boyfriends. You got a woman with a side dude. You got a guy who's okay with being a side dude. Man, that's funky as hell. What the hell you mean? A side dude? Or dealing with a woman that has a man. You know how corrupt that is? Just from a cleanliness standpoint. That's crazy, man. And even if you deal with a woman, I had a woman one time come to me and she said, okay, I'm gonna leave this guy alone. I'm gonna just deal with you. And I said, okay, I'm not gonna hit you until 2 months from the real story, no bullshit. I'm not gonna hit you for 2 months, and you gotta dish that thing every week. Because I know you let him hit raw. I know you did. I only want to deal with you after that. So you got to clean that thing out thoroughly. And who's to say that was enough? My point is that, man, it's rough out here, bro. It's rough out here, to say the least.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Let me say this one thing.
Go ahead.
A woman's sexuality, and this can only be seen from a guy who has dealt with most of them, their sexuality is, for lack of a better word, amazing. It's amazing how actually nasty a woman is. And most women give fellatio, right? And we all have to deal with it. We have to deal with this, man. We have to deal with this. But 9 times out of 10, when you deal with a woman, you done dealt with a woman who swallowed several, if not 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 men. You're dealing with a woman who swallowed that much. Because it's a part of it. So my point is that it's hard to think about, but women are completely defiled. This is one of the reasons why the MGTOW message, the Igbo message is so strong. Because when you really think about it, if we can really only sum up a woman's real worth is her vagina. And maybe second to that, her ability to try to make your life easy, to facilitate your life in some way, which means cooking and cleaning and doing chores and doing laundry, being a support system, rubbing your back, being there for you emotionally if you need her to. What I mean by emotional support, just somebody standing by you if you're going through a trial or tribulation, not necessarily for motivation, because we should be self-motivated. Those things are intangible, but at the end of the day, if all she got is that box, and that box is nasty, then what is her true value and worth? Now, yeah, we know we live in the hells of North America. So we have to look past a lot of these things. Let's be real. We got to look past a lot of these things because you're not going to, I mean, you can, but more than likely you probably won't get a virgin. Most of us, some guys probably can, but most of us won't. So you have to look past those things. That's why you got to put a woman to work. But when you really look at it, there's really no value out here. Now, we allow, because we're so loving as men and so caring, we allow a woman to redeem herself, clean that box out, get your mind right, and be ready to serve. Because it's nothing but pollution out here, man. It's rough. It's rough, man, to say the least. Back to you, bro.
Man, you know, just to sum that up real quickly, guys, I want you to look at the big picture of this. Here are two men telling you that they have been blessed with the pimp game from their youth, which means that manipulating women into providing sexual favors was nothing. It was easy. And we're telling you that over the hundreds of women that we've been intimate with combined, we can't even come up with 5 who have demanded not only that we wear protection for ourselves, but who were even concerned about protecting themselves from. And man, and many of these women knew who I was. They knew how I was. My reputation preceded me. Man, I knocked down 30 women in an apartment complex in the summer one time, bro.
Woo!
They listen, once you get to number 8, 9, 10, the word is spread, man, that you already hit 2, 3, 4, and 5. Not once, man, did they even consider it, bro. Not once. And if we can't come up with 5, what does that say about all of it? It would take all of us in here combined to come up with 50 women. And if we could come up with 50, I guarantee we could come up with 100. And this is the woman that the beta male wants to pedestalize. This is the woman he wants to wife and say, okay, baby, it's just you and me. You're a queen. You're a gift to me. You're a gift from God. You're a trophy. The idea of the trophy wife should be cut like a knife, man. It is dead, bro. So we got Jonathan Cordero up in here, man. He rolled up in here. The homie Lone Wolf is rolled up in the building, man. That's the homie right there, man. Brother comments on every single upload, man. I mean, and with some game too. I ain't talking about, man, good upload, BOA. That's good, man. I'm talking about, man, with some game. So shout out to the brother. All right, man. Let's go ahead, man. We kind of.
Let me say this real quick. We got Guy King in the building. Shout out to you, Guy King.
Oh man, I skipped right past old Guy King, man. Guy King, what up, brother? Good. All right, man. Let's get on to this next question here, Ram. If you're ready to roll with it.
Oh yeah.
Do you think, just building on this last question, well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna skip number 5. Number 4 just killed the need for number 5, bro. Like literally, it did, man. So we can roll on to the next one, man.
Real quick. We got 171 watching. Get the likes up, gentlemen, for us. The likes up for us. Show us your support, man. We in here for you. Appreciate everybody watching and tuning in. Everybody that come from my channel, everybody on your channel, BOA. 172 likes up, gentlemen, please. All right, bro.
No doubt, no doubt. What are 5 things you would tell a group of graduating high school seniors if you spoke at their commencement about women?
Man, that's an excellent question. So I could imagine myself at an all-boys school, black men, young black boys, hundreds of them in an auditorium. And I'm asked to be the keynote speaker there. And I would begin my sermon, my lecture, my talk by saying the most important thing to know about women for your life and for the rest of your life is that it's not ever about women. And then I will proceed to tell them, since it's never about women in your life, they would never or should never take the primary role in your life, should never take top priority in your life. I will go on and speak about what should take priority in their lives. Again, I would tell them what you should know about women is that it's never about them. It's all about you. And I will go on to tell them, if your religious beliefs, so-called, matches mine, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 12, the conclusion of the whole matter is to serve God and keep his commandments. And if that's not your thing, fine. If that's not your thing, the next thing is whatever your principles are, whatever your values are, hold on to those and represent those like your life depends on it. Because I believe, as a man, what separates us from woman, what separates us from animals, are our principles. Without your principles, gentlemen, you are literally nothing. Women don't have principles. Have you ever heard a woman talk to you about her principles and values? Ever? Of course not. Of course not. Have you ever heard a blue pill simp ever talk about values and principles and upholding those? Of course not. Not possible. So the first thing I would tell them is to uphold your principles. Get you a set of principles that you uphold. Period. For every aspect of your life. And represent those. Represent those. A principled man is a man that we all should be, no matter what. That's the thing that separates. That's the thing that separates. And the next thing I would tell that male, you said 5 things, right? Is that he is to self-prioritize. He's the number one person in his life. This is not selfishness. Because before you can serve or help or do or give to anyone else, you first must do that for yourself. A drowning man can't help another drowning man. Not possible. And what I mean by prioritize yourself goes into my next point, my next statement. Prioritize yourself by building yourself. By building yourself. How do you build? How do we as a man, how do we as men build ourselves? That's the question. They don't teach you this in school. How are men built? Good question. How do we build ourselves, once again, as men? Well, the first thing you do, and this is very basic, this is fundamental principle. Your first building block, after we've prioritized ourselves and we keep in commandments, we adhere to principles, we have a set of principles, is self-control and discipline. That's just not a cute word. A man can't do anything without being able to delay gratification. You can't do anything as a man without self-control and discipline. And that goes to every level. BOA, you ever had a woman talk jazzy to you? And you may get a little excited, but what you're supposed to do, remain calm, keep your composure, self-discipline. You may want to run a woman raw. This may be a bad chick, man. You know how many times I done ran into a chick and she was bad, man? You ever run into a chick that you just like, oh man, she's all the kind of sexy that you want her to be. And she wide open for you. And she'll let you hit raw. Self-control says, I can't do it. Can't be Kobe Bryant running up in a chick who, had 5 men skied in the previous day. $100 million bippy. I think Guy King talked about that. Shout out to Neck of the Woods and Jerry Stacks. Self-control and discipline. Because a lack of self-control and discipline will get you a disease. A lack of self-control and discipline will get you a baby mama. Lack of self-control and discipline will leave you out of job market. Lack of self-control and discipline will leave you out of being able to create your own business and do for yourself. A lack of self-control and discipline will leave you homeless, broke, poor, and dependent. So that's the first thing I would tell a group of graduating high school men. This is the most important thing you can hear in your life, gentlemen. Not going to get this anywhere else. Self-control and discipline. And I can go on and on, but I'm just going to give a few more. This is something we can talk about all day. I got a video called The Uncompromising Principles of Manhood. And I could have added 100 more to those. But for the sake of time, I have to be brief. And after self-control and discipline, a man has to focus on his paper. You have to be autonomous. We can't afford to be dependent on anyone else but ourselves. Do you know for a well-able-bodied man, there's no support for him? Unless you got a mental illness or a physical disability, there really ain't no homeless shelter that's going to take you in. There really are no programs to help you out. I was looking at an article the other day, and there was literally a program for women of color to help them get out of debt. As a black man, there's none for you. Latino man or any other type of man, there is none for you. So you got to focus on your paper, because guess what? At the end of the day, all you got is you. Your buddies can leave you. Your girl can leave you. All you got is you. So you have to have that autonomy. Work on your paper. And as a young man, I even heard you say this, BOA, in one of your hangouts, because you only got a few years, 20, 30 years to really grind, because you can't do what you can do at 20 when you're 40 and 50 and 60. You want to lay back in them later years. So what I tell these men, the decisions you make today will affect you tomorrow and forever. Do the hard work. Do the sacrificing now. Push forward now. Get your grind on now. Because life has to always move forward. Save your money. Plan. Plan your work. Work your plan. And the next thing I would reiterate is to never worry about women. Because I know it's cliche now, but it's true. When you own your purpose, the women will follow. It's a part of the game. We can call it the zone. It's a part of being in your alpha male energy. It's a part of the game when you are shining. When you walk through the door and you got that fresh haircut. When you walk through the door and you got that diamond earring in your ear. When you walk through the door and your clothes are new and they fit and they fresh, they clean. When the shoes are looking good. When the cologne is on. When you got money in your pocket. You got a nice place to stay. You got a car out there. You full of self-confidence. It's a part of the game when this confidence exudes out of your skin. And then you have a golden tongue because you've learned the game. And when you spit at a woman, it's fire. There's been times, man, I've been at a lounge and no bullshit, man. Every chick that I spit game at, I got a number. 5 for 5. And then went on to hit all 5. Now, that's not my primary purpose in life. No, therapy. And there's no lying in therapy. I say again, there is no lying in therapy. There's times I've been 5 for 5, and there's times when I went 0 for 5. But when you're in that zone, man, the women are going to be there. She's an accessory. An accessory. Now, there are exceptions to the rule, man. You may find a woman maybe like Tamar Reese, who's going to hold you down, who's going to be there for you, who's going to be Team Black Ram all the way, Team Book of AlphaRonomy. You may find that, and you put it to work. However, that's not the number one priority. You prioritize you, she prioritizes you. That is the alpha way. And there really is no other way. Any other way, you're losing. And you're losing bad. So you're going to shine. If you're about your business, you're about your purpose, everything else is secondary. And that's what I would tell a group of young men who are entering the primacy of their lives, with their lives ahead of them. to avoid the pitfalls, the mistakes, the traps, for a better life, man. To learn from us, those who walk this life before you. And that's what it's about. So that's what I would tell these young men. And with that information, ain't no other way to go but up. Ain't nothing else to do but shine. That's red pill power. That's male empowerment. So that's the thing. The law, statutes, and commandments, your principles, prioritizing yourself, don't worry about women, self-control, self-discipline, which will lead to dignity and self-respect. Words that we look over, but words that should mean everything to us. Everything to us. Our principles should mean everything to us. Because let me tell you something about a woman, because we love to talk about women, don't we? We love to talk about women. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, yeah. Again, there's no lying in therapy. There is no lying in therapy. But if, as a man, you can't uphold your principles, what in the hell does she have to latch on to? What does she have without you being strong, without you being confident, without you being alpha, without you being principled? What does she have in a man? A beta male simp comes a dime a dozen. Remember, you are a champion. Beta male's a dime a dozen. So what else does she have to latch on to? What else does she have to grasp? So you value yourself. You become that man. Back to you, BOA.
Oh man, listen, did you guys feel the game flowing the way I feel? I swear, man, I wish a broad walked through the door right now, man, so I can spit some game at her. I ain't lying to you. I feel real pimpish right now, and I know you do as well. Shout out to the homie Negro Ninja. He's in the building. He says not going to lie. Games seem like a waste because they are too stupid to understand what's said. But that's the beauty of it, Negro Ninja. They flock to what they can't control. If they don't understand it, they can't control it. They're just amused by it. A lot of women don't understand the game that a man spits. She just know it makes her feel great. And let me tell you a crazy thing about this game, man. Sometimes, now I can't just turn this on. I'll sound silly if I do. But sometimes I'll talk to a woman and every damn thing I say rhymes like a real old school pimp. I'm talking about in a long conversation, man. I'm just spitting game to her, just spitting lines and rhymes. And I have never failed. The times that has happened in my life, man, I have never failed to back that woman. Most times I get that woman to fall through on me the same night.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example. I had a woman call me one time. You know, when you hustle in the street getting money, man, I mean, you got money to pay your bills, but you got a business going on that you need to be aware of. You need to keep your eyes on the players and you need to keep your eyes on the game. So a cable bill comes through. Okay, you may put it on the account and say, I got to pay that, and you forget to pay. So she calls one night. And just the sound in her voice sounds like she's going through something with something. So, you could tell when a woman's going through something with some dude. There's a certain sound to her voice. Before I knew it, man, I had been on the phone with her, man, about 15 minutes, man. And she asked me, do I always talk like this? Does everything you say rhyme all the time? I had no idea I was even doing it. From that point, I watched it. And from her moving forward, I can't track it any time before that because I literally knew I had no idea what's going on. But I've never failed to bag a woman based on that. They don't know why I'm rhyming like that. They don't know if I'm a rapper or I work for Dr. Seuss. They have no idea. But what they don't understand will intrigue them more than what they already know and expect. So I understand what you're saying. Their intelligence has to be in questions on has to be questioned on most things. But on that one, man, I think that's the gift of game. Tremere Reeves, we appreciate the $35 super chat. Shouty, good looking out. Good looking out. Somebody else said our business too. Appreciate the super chat. Neck of the woods, updated. Appreciate the super chat. Real estate student. Appreciate the super chat. Brother, I'm gonna tell you, man. There are some things that are being touched on today that I don't know if either of us has made any content addressing each and every one of these particular issues. So, that is why I think I've become addicted to the live stream. You just talk and you just spit it, and a question comes up and you just go and you just go for what you know, man. So, top-notch game, brother. Top-notch game as always.
Yeah. Shout out to Ghost God and Negro Ninja too. Glad to see them brothers in here. For sure.
Give me a little bit of second here, man. I kind of always got my questions here, man. Give me a minute. All right, we're back in the game. All right, we're gonna keep moving on, man. We don't want to, be in here till 10 o'clock. Number seven. Seventh question, man. Well, whatever question it is, because I know I had to skip a couple because the brother is covering two questions with one answer. That is thorough game. If you don't understand thorough game, understand that. Got 175 watching, 149 likes. Let's make the likes match the viewership, fellas. Let's do that. Only take a split second, man, to hit the thumbs up. We are giving up this game, and a thumbs up is, would be greatly appreciated. It helps out a whole lot. Number 7, Ram. Now, this is going to be a question that I know you are going to love as an introspective black man of reform. You're going to love this question. In your opinion, is the so-called pro-black conscious system really down for the struggle, or simply using the label to further perpetuate the feminist gender under the guise of being on the team?
Oh yeah, for sure. For her, the fake conscious sister, so-called, and she ain't your sister, it's all a game. It's all her game. They like trends. They like fads. They don't like truth. They don't like ideas like sacrifice. So she's on that bandwagon because it looks good. A lot of females with natural hair is not wearing natural hair because they love their natural selves. And I commend women who have natural hair. I saw your video about that, by the way, BOA. But it's a fad. It's trendy. And she really don't have our community and our nation at heart. She has her own agenda. That's why she's often worshipped by the hotep. She wants to be seen. She wants the attention. So she's not serious. She ain't real. In fact, it's very difficult to find. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that, but it's very difficult to find a woman who prioritizes her man or the men of her race and nationality. Extremely hard to find. So they just faking the funk. You look at the fake hotep Erica Badu. She just a bust down. She just been ran through. A lot of these women are feminist. They're not about anything as far as building family and being a man's support system. They're feminist. And this is why when they are involved in certain communities, Black Lives Matter, they want to co-opt it, take charge of it, and focus on that feminist agenda. Because even the ones who claim to have knowledge and consciousness, their mind is still infused with poison. And if it's not white supremacy, and that's the only thing she probably left, she may not be involved in white supremacy, but she's involved with feminism, which is a product of white supremacy, gynocentrism, and feminism. So her mind has been corrupted. So she can't even really stand for this. This is how you test a woman out to see if she's really down for black men and down for the cause. Here go a simple test. I don't care what female, and I don't really watch too many female YouTubers, maybe 2 at the most. But if you want to know if a woman is really down for black men, all you gotta do is ask her one question. Here go the test. For any black female, if she claims she's down, if she claims to be conscious, if she claims to be for her people, because you can't be for your people and not be pro-male. You got to be pro-black male. Here's the test. Anybody can do this test. Real simple test. You ask a woman who claims to have this information, this knowledge, this consciousness. You ask her. You say, well, sweetheart, if you are conscious, you're all about the community, you're all about building, you're all about networking, you're all about our race first. You ask her, hey, sweetie, what do you think about polygyny? Do you think it's a good idea? Is it something that you would involve yourself in? You know what that answer is going to be. She's going to say no. Then you know right away she's not conscious, she's unconscious. Because this is our culture. This is our way of life. If she's anti-polygyny, she's not willing to play her role and be a co-worker in serving her man, 2, 3 women with the same man. If she's not down for that, she ain't conscious at all. She's faking. In fact, she's just a hotep hoe and all about herself. So that's the test. That's the test. And the funny thing is, a woman will put down polygyny because it's organized, but she don't mind dating or being with a so-called married man, though. If it's chaotic and messy, she'll go. If it's organized and spiritual and righteous, she's going to hate it. Because most of these women are demons through and through, involved in hotep hoeing or whatever, fake Hebrew Israelite women, fake hotep hoes, all of those things. That's it. Back to you, BOA.
Yeah, you know what, brother? I look at these women out here, man, and now I do know some, some black women who are, they are pro-black. They understand their position. They understand what their position has to be in order for them to even consider being in a positive environment in any type of relationship with a man that they can love and respect. But none of those women are famous. These are just women that I happen to come across. But the ones who are in the forefront showing that image, man, they're just doing it because it's popular, man. And let me tell you something that I always say, brother, and then we'll move on. No woman can tell me about her strength if she can't even beat her own hair. She's had it in her head since she was born, man.
Wow.
Someone else taught her how to do it. Someone did it for the first 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 15 years of her life.
Wow.
And even now, she never does it herself. You mean to tell me you're strong enough to be combative with me, strong enough to challenge my authority, but the hair on your head whoops your butt every day of your life? Get out of my face, chick.
Wow.
All right, let's move on here, brother. Let's move on here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Knowing what you know, if you were a childless man, and I ask this question because you talk about your daughter a lot, just like I talk about my son a lot, would you ever consider procreating with any woman in this present day and age?
Excellent question, man. I love my daughter dearly, and I would gladly lose my life for her. And if it was possible, I would endure an eternity in fire so that she wouldn't have to. I love her to life. However, I wish she would have been born to 2 better parents. And if I had a do-over, not only would she would have been born to 2 better parents, I would have chose not to procreate. The reason why is because this society is so wicked and so chaotic that even when you do have children, they're really not your children. There's nothing really more hellish than not being able to properly and truly raise, control, and own and dictate 100% without any interruption or any outside influence your child. Anytime you have to consider the state, anytime you have to consider your baby mama, relatives, anytime you have to consider anyone else in the raising and rearing of your children, those are not your children. And I'm talking about 100%, not 80%, not 90%, 100%. And knowing what I know now, having children in this day and age, not so. I remember a story in the scriptures. I believe it was Jeremiah. Don't quote me on it. I believe it was Jeremiah. Yirmiyahu. And I believe the Most High Yahweh told him in this land, if I'm not mistaken, most likely Babylon, but don't quote me on this. I have to go and get the actual person. So forgive me. So I'm paraphrasing. He was told in a corrupt land, let's call it Babylon, he was told not to procreate in Babylon. Now, my question just to the audience Those who may believe, those some not, some probably don't. But isn't this Babylon? Isn't this Rome and Greece? Are we not in Babylon? So is it a good idea to procreate in Babylon? In this misandric, gynocentric, feminist, male bashing, disdain for manhood society? When you hear terms like toxic masculinity, is this the time, place, and age for such? And then having an uphill battle if your skin is dark, to have to fight everything and everyone just for survival. Having a child, your child has to not just be a good child, but a great child, exceptional. If you have a little black boy, he has to be 10 times more disciplined, more intelligent, and greater than any white, Asian, or any other male. Same thing for the female. That much better. And that's a hell of a thing to ask of somebody. This is Babylon. So if I had to do it all over again, all of those hopes and dreams that we have for children, man, all the things that we desire, we all desire a better life for our children. But here, I think bringing a child into the world, honestly, is not only selfish, but you're literally inviting them into a curse. And me personally, I don't want that responsibility. And most of us shouldn't even qualify to raise children. And I'm not putting anybody down. Things happen. But in my opinion, and I'm not saying I'm not guilty of this. Oh, no, I'm not saying that I'm any better than anybody else. But if you can't give your child truly an awesome life, that means clean, safe neighborhood, good schools, preferably homeschool, and your child is in an environment with a submissive woman, and daddy runs not 20%, not 40%, not 50%, but daddy runs 100% of the household, makes all the decisions for his family. And not only that, you have more than enough money for that child's secondary education, college, bachelor's and master's, and also have that child trained in a trade, a profession as a kid. If you can't give a child that, then that's something we ought not have. But because a kid is cute and pretty and, you know, a copy of yourself, selfishly, we decide to have children. So if I can do it all over again, procreation, nah, not in this land, not amongst this poison. And here go the thing. For us that are Israelites, we understand about the hopeful elect, but you're asking a lot for a child to come through this life with their faith intact. Real faith. I ain't talking about that fake stuff in the Christian church. I'm talking about believing in the one God, believing in his Messiah, a human being, and believing in keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Very hard for someone to come through this life with all these different philosophies and all this poison and still latch on to that and still be a good person and not be corrupted and not make a gang of mistakes. So yeah, if I could do it all over again, no way. I'm keeping my seed to myself and living life without such responsibility. Back to you, BOA.
You know, brother, there is no shame in that because I think about it all the time, and I know for a fact that I would forego bearing children in this land because as an alpha man, I prefer control. And due to the fact that I have to do so many things to create revenue in order to be able to provide a certain life for my seed, I cannot very well take that same time. I got 24 hours in a day. I do not have the time to do both because, as you say, as a black man, it's much more difficult to accomplish certain things. I will not be ashamed because, as you say, brother, there is no lying in therapy. I have to tone down my approach in business settings. There's no way you can walk into a room with, and go into a room and say, you know what, I really don't like white people in a room full of white people who you're asking to have the city support a business you're trying to start.
Exactly.
So it comes to a point where when I look at my seed and I have to leave him at the mercy, no matter how great the school is. Of course, you want better schools because they create a better environment every day, a better classroom environment. But even then, are they being taught the things that I want them to be taught every day? Every day I'm having to dispute something that he's heard. Now I'll tell you a funny story and we'll go on. My son's gotten to the point where the things I teach him, I had to tell him, you can't go in the classroom and repeat these things in the middle of the class. So, he go in and tell him just about anything I told him. Well, my dad said this. And I believe my dad. This teacher would call me and say, um, Adrian said that Jesus isn't God. He's a prophet of God. We think Jesus is God around here. The way I don't know what to tell you. I'll tell him not to blurt that out in class if it's going to cause a lot of confusion in class for you and the other children. But this is just what his belief is. I sure am not going to tell him, son, that's the wrong belief. Hell, I taught him it's the right belief.
That's right. I'm with you all the way with that one.
So let's move on here, bro. We kind of, we get to the 12th hour here a little bit. We'll get into this next question, man. And I almost know what your answer is going to be to this question, bro. Would you ever consider marriage or commitment in a patriarchal society where the laws were in favor of men, or are you dead set against the concept, regardless of environment? Now, by marriage, I do mean marriage as it is presently constructed.
Oh, as it is presently constructed. Oh, yeah. By no means at all should a man ever enter into a third party legal contract with the government to do that in which the Most High himself created. I have to mention this. I know it's not, everybody's forte to mention scriptures. But thinking about this verse, the scripture says, what the Most High has put together, let no man put asunder. So if the Most High has put man and woman together naturally, how is it that you need another man to sanction what Yahweh has us naturally do, which is deal with a woman? Why do you need the devil's nasty little hands and fingers involved with you having sex and owning your woman? Owning your property to do what nature intended, what the Most High intended. So anytime you get a third party contractual agreement in which the government can regulate, sanction, you are a fool. So in a patriarchal society where men rule, even then, no contractual obligations. A man's word should be enough. In fact, a marriage should be an agreement between a man and that woman's father, and she should be handled like property from one owner to another. That would cut out materialism, that would cut out hypergamy, that would cut out adultery and promiscuity. See, the Hebrew culture, the book, the Torah, as believers, we don't talk about the Torah enough. Yes, I believe in the New Testament, the gospel and the epistles, but the Torah, which is life, our salvation, gives the key, the answer to how to conduct life, and is the key to advancing civilization. For in the Torah, the woman is property. For a fee, the father is paid for the female, and now she is owned as property, yours. Not to abuse. No, not to abuse, man. But as yours, as belonging to you, as flesh of your flesh and bone of your bone. Imagine this, a world, a society in which you are given from the Father a pure virgin, a woman that has never been touched, never been kissed, never had a boyfriend, a woman who has been taught to serve, literally taught to bow to you, literally been taught to serve you, literally been taught to put your interest first. Still no contract, but it's yours. That's what a patriarchy looks like. That's what a real civilization works or looks like. And not just her. If you like her sister, you marry her sister too. Real marriage, biblical marriage, the idea of sexual relations, which is biblical marriage. And maybe her cousin too. Absolutely. That's the Hebrew way. In a real patriarchal society, to do it the way the Most High intended with his wisdom. That's what it would look like. Not a third party in your situation, not a society in your situation. Women were created for you. She's just her programming has just been hijacked. She has a virus in her brain. Nothing wrong with a woman. Listen. In its true form, there's nothing at all wrong with a woman. The only thing or only time there's something wrong with a woman is when A, she's trying to be a man, B, challenge a man, C, compete against a man, D, own a man. When those things aren't present and when she is totally submitted and owned by a man, a woman is a beautiful thing. Now I know we got a lot of red pillars out here, a lot of guys. So let me ask the listeners, the subscribers, the audience, let me ask you gentlemen, you red pill men, a question. There's no wrong answer. This is therapy. Ain't no lying in therapy. Let me pose to you a quick scenario. If it was possible to live in a real patriarchy, a strong patriarchy where men ruled, and you can buy from the father a pure virgin who's humble and submissive, but she's yours for life though. You can train her. She's yours for life. How many of you men would go for that? If you would go for it, if you would go for it, a number one in the comment section. If you still wouldn't want it, I ain't mad at you. Put a number two in the comment section. If you can get that pure chaste virgin under a real society, a real patriarchy. And not just one, maybe two, maybe three. A number one in the comment section if you would take that. Again, no marriage, no divorce, no alimony, none of that stuff. She's completely yours, but you are responsible for the rest of your life, though. Let's keep it real. How many of you guys would take that? And if you wouldn't, a number two. If you still wouldn't want that, throw a number two in there. And so far, I think the ones got it. One guy put it two. This one, Melanie. Oh, GK. Oh, wow. GK, we don't have to probably talk about that, man. Maybe you can do a video. GK, Guy King, I'm very interested as to the reasons why. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's a difference of opinion. That's fine. But I'm very curious as to the reasoning. Maybe we should do a live stream about that. Very curious to the reasoning why you would not accept a deal like that. So yeah, and it seems like most of us would go for that. Most of us, if you can have a real wife in a real society. Back to you, BOA.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen. What men have to understand is that we can't get what we need or deserve is a better way to put it in this society when it comes to being in close quarters with women. By close quarters, I mean being in any type of committed relationship at all. These laws won't allow it. So no matter how great a woman is, even if you got a virgin in this society, there is no guarantee that the submissive qualities will be there. She'll just be, sexually clean. But it's more than sexually clean. She has to be raised to be submissive. In that environment that the brother speaks of, she would be raised, she would be shaped and molded to be delivered to you, and she will understand what I say all the time. I've been telling women this, man, since I was 20 years old. A husband is just a daddy to a grown woman.
That's right.
There's no other way to put it. Whatever respect and reverence she gave her dad, that now transitions to you. And I don't mean shared. I mean he loses his authority, and all of it shifts to me. Girls have to be raised that way from very early age, from the time they first start understanding information and how to process it. You can't find that in this society. So any man who is considering that in this society had better start absorbing some red pill content, man, because that brother is lost without a compass. Well, he got the compass that Jack Sparrow has. Motherfucker don't go north, but he need to go north. That's real talk, man. Yo, let me give a couple of shout out to some brothers, man, who've been dropping some super chats in here, man.
Hey, let me say real quick. Select. I don't know how to say his name. It's SALCHIH. He left one of the most amazing comments on my video, A Simp's Tale, a short story. In fact, one of these days I plan on doing a live stream about some of the points that he made. So I just want to shout out to him. I saw him in the comment section. Amazing brother. And also, I think I mentioned him before, but Red Pill Lifesaver, who's been rocking with me from the beginning. Every video he comments on. So I just got to give you a shout out, Red Pill Lifesaver. And everybody else who is subscribed to my channel. I appreciate all you all for coming in here and hanging out with me and my brother, Book of AlphaRonomy. But back to you, BOA.
Right. Mirror Prejudice, what up, bro? Say I almost forgot, but he showed up anyway, man. It's better late than never, brother, when it comes to this red pill game. Let me send a shout out to the brother Chemical JDZ for his super chat. The homie Gilbert Bird, who always shows up. His super chat as well. Gone post to 28. Appreciate you sending the super chat, brother. And the brother James Johnson, along with everyone else who's decided to, dig into their pocket and support what they believe in financially, which is something that I tend to do myself. I think we as men should do more of that, because when you look at the brothers like the Derrick Jacksons of the world, the women who believe in what he does and support it, even though he's probably a bigger pimp than I am, he is really out there, man, spitting some game, man, and they go for it. So, all right, bro, let's get on into this this next one here, man. We're getting on down to the wire here. Do you believe? As a matter of fact, brother, this is pretty almost the same question. So I'm gonna combine both of them and just let you have the floor with them, bro.
Okay.
Do you believe black men should totally disregard any attempt at unifying with the Americanized black woman? And if so, do you believe that we could regain our position of power at the head of the Most High's table if we did that? Meaning totally disconnected from the Americanized black woman.
Oh yeah, that's a heavy question. So let's actually break that up, and let me just deal with the first one. Can you pose that again real quick?
All right, well, let me deliver it the way I intended to in the first place then. Do you believe black men should totally disregard any attempt at unifying with the Americanized black woman? I mean, is it a lost cause? Are they gone? Are they down for the count and there's no helping?
When it comes to the North American black female, my answer is yes, it's a lost cause. It's over. Stick a fork in it. It's done. Like a NBA playoff game with Jordan at his prime. You already know it's over with as soon as Mike hit the floor. So I believe personally that she is beyond redemption, no hope in sight. 70% out of wedlock births from the succubus. STD rates for the succubus more than any other gender, group, nationality you have. The succubus, her disease rate is 51%. The most out of wedlock births, the most single mothers, the most diseases, and the succubus, she's a bigger killer than white supremacy. I'm going to say that again. She's a bigger killer than white supremacy. She's more an efficient killer than any animal in the on the planet, in the seas, and on the ground. She's the most destructive and evil force. And I'm going to say this. She's the most destructive and evil force in the world. And I'm going to prove it. 1,700 abortions a day. Our population is minus about 55 million since the 70s. Planned Parenthood. Minus 55 million. 1,700 a day. There has never, ever, 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 ever in existence. There has been no viruses, no bacteria, no plague, no pandemic, no epidemic, no war, no natural disasters that has meant the demise of more people than the black female. She is the most disgusting, vile, destructive force on earth. Brought to you by white supremacy. She is beyond inhuman. She is not even considered a human being. She does not have a soul. Now, some of them can come to repentance and forgiveness of sins and are actually sorrowful for their actions. Very few, a minority. Most of them wear the fact that they're the world's biggest killers on their sleeves like it's an accomplishment. And we'll even brag about the number of abortions she's had. So you can't get a more vile creature. She despises you, hates you more than anyone on earth except the European. In fact, she works for him. She is his pit bull. She is the direct reflection and representation of his hatred for you. Let me say that again. The succubus is the exact reflection of her God, reflection of JC, that blonde hair, blue eyed thing on that cross, reflection of him, reflection of that white man, a reflection of him, a reflection of his hatred toward you and your race. This is why she kills the babies in her very womb. She hates men, her race, her nationality, more than we can ever imagine. Evil, the very definition of it, more evil than anything on this planet Earth, other than the one who she is in love with, which is the white man. Those two combined are the biggest problem for the black man today. I am not pro-black. I'm pro-black male. And these are our enemies. And she is your enemy naturally. She cannot be redeemed. Theoretically, in order to start again, we have to completely disregard her and start over with young, chaste virgins and rebuild our society. But that's idealistic. But in actuality, for the most part, there are some slight exceptions. But the worst thing you can do as a black man is deal with a black woman. The worst thing. Some exceptions now. I ain't saying you shouldn't hit it. None of that. But the worst thing you can do is wife up a black woman and get one pregnant. It's the worst thing you can do. If she doesn't kill the kid, you better believe she's going to turn it against you. And that kid's going to become an agent of white supremacy and self-hate. Through and through. She's the most destructive person or thing on this planet. So it's best to leave her alone. Stay away from her. Avoid her like the plague, because she is one. I used to think that the black female was under the curses like we are as black men. The curses in Deuteronomy 28. No, she's not under the curses. She is the curse. I say again, she is the curse. And she needs to be avoided. She is the worst thing that ever happened to us. Again, there are slight exceptions. Slight. But for the most part, the only thing she can bring is confusion, chaos, discord, jealousy, pride, corruption, sin, and all manner of evil. Why do you think the scriptures warn us over and over again about women? Over and over again. Only a couple of places about a virtuous woman because hardly none of them exist. So she is the worst thing on earth. She's the worst being on earth. Her and her lover. So imagine this. Imagine the devil, who we know who the devil is. We know who the modern day devil is. Imagine him and the black woman standing side by side, and their purpose is your destruction. Now, how can you love, wife, all of that up? How can you want to be and deal with that? She's the worst thing on earth. So there is no redemption for her. What a wise man would do, if you're going to deal with her, this is therapy. We don't lie. I deal with black women. And guess what, gentlemen? I deal with single mothers. Yes, BLACKRAM313 deals with single mothers. Yes, BLACKRAM313 deals with black women at a distance. And those that I deal with closely, they're on my program. I'm not on theirs. I live alone. I say again, I live alone. I am not committed to no woman. Commitment for me flows one way. A woman is committed to me, and I'm committed to the Most High. Period. Period. I prioritize the Most High, and any woman that rocks with me prioritize me. Period. So yeah, BOA. She is beyond saving. She is beyond redemption. And the best thing to do is stay away from her. And not just her. Most women on the planet have been corrupted to not the same degree, maybe to a lesser degree, but they have been corrupted as well. But we can say these are stats and facts. I'm not making this up. I believe that black women in their natural state are beautiful. She has the potential to be the best woman on earth if she is being a woman, which is nurturing, loving, and caring, and chaste, in shape, beautiful, submits to her husband, loves her husband. That woman is beautiful, but that woman is a unicorn. Is a unicorn. As rare as gold and as precious as a ruby. And a woman who's a real woman, she should be loved. She should be provided for. Who's a real woman, she's supposed to be an extension of you, flesh of your flesh, bone of your bone. Love her as you love yourself. This scripture, man. Love her as you love yourself. But what woman is worthy of that? What woman is worthy of that? Very few. So living in Babylon, living in the world that we live in, we have to deal with what we have. And I'm not saying that a man can't have a halfway decent relationship with a black woman. I'm not saying not every one of them are evil. There are some who are repentant, some of them who are trying to live a better life, some of them who may be trying at least to attempt to be a good woman, to be a good person, to submit to their men in their lives. But again, that's rare. Almost none of us can find such a thing. So when it comes to that, it's over for us. There is no relationship building. There is no life building with a black woman. You cannot build anything with a black woman. Even if you find a woman that's somewhat submissive, it's still, again, a swim up against a tumultuous river. Because still in her is going to be the jealousy. It's going to be the envy. It's going to be all manner of issues. Nobody's perfect. We understand that. But it's the most difficult thing to do is build anything with a black woman, man. Now listen, this breaks my heart. Let me tell you guys this. Let me say something, man. And I don't want to get all mushy, man. Listen, I'm an imperfect man. I'm not a tough guy. I love women. I have loved women. My life hasn't been perfect. The women I deal with, their lives haven't been perfect. Doesn't mean I don't care about them, but you got to call things as it is, man. I wish, because I love black folk. Let me say this again. I love black folk. I wish, like nothing else, that we can have a beautiful, honest, distinguished society with men and women on top of their game. A society that flourishes. Again, safe neighborhoods, good schools, healthy children, Yes, healthy relationships. I wish, man, I wish that a man could really love a woman and that woman belonged completely to him, man. I wish that. It hurts, man. It hurts. It's painful to see the state of black men and black women. It hurts, man. It hurts to see the drug addict. It hurts to see the drug dealer. It hurts to see the man who can't be in the life of his child, man. It hurts to see the woman who has had 60 men and thinks that that's okay. It hurts to see the disdain, the distrust, the war between the black man and the black woman. It hurts, man. I would love to see a community with beautiful black people, a black man loving his wife, and a wife, a black wife, loving her husband, man, raising their children under the law, statutes, and commandments, man. I would love that. I would love nothing more than to have a community like that, man. It hurts, man. That's why I'm Ibmore, because I love black folk, man. I love my brothers, man. And I wish our women were right. See, here go the root of the matter, man. From man and woman comes a community. And from a community comes a nation. And from a nation comes a society, man. And I'm sorry, brothers, if you don't love black men and women, man, and don't wish that we had a better situation, sorry, man. If you want to call me a simp, a lame, a punk, a pussy, a hotep, a simp, a pro-black, then so be it. I'll take that, man. But I love my people, man. A nation, man. I know I want nothing more than that. I want to be able to love the women in my life, man, take care of my children, and if it was possible, even have more children. In a perfect world, man, I wish I could have 100 children. I wish I could have, or at least 20. I wish I could have a couple of beautiful wives, man, and love them. Love them with the love of God, man. Love them with the spirit, man. And have them love me and have my wife and my children be a reflection of me and how I represent Yahweh, the Most High, man. For us to have an advanced society. A society that can take over the world, man. I want that. However, this black female has been weaponized against us. She has been corrupted. We have simps. We have whores, man. We're broken. We're broken in pieces. We're shattered. We're lost, man. We're in the dark, man. And it hurts so much that I can't even bring tears, but my soul, man, my soul is crying. God damn, man. How can I not love black folk? People say, oh, them Ibmores, man. Them Ibmores pro-black. And what the hell is wrong with being your race first? I didn't say you had to hate the Latino. I didn't say you have to hate the Asian man. But why come you can't be about your people first, man? And deal with other people out of love and respect. How can I be in black and not love black folk and want the best for us, man? How? Oh, you pro-black. And what's wrong with that, loving my race, man? What's wrong with that? I hurt for my people, man. I mourn for my people. This is not a good thing. Our state is not a good thing. Again, husband and wife is the foundation of all society, man. This is painful. So I wish our communities were better. I wish this was a better world. I wish our community looked more like the Asian community and the so-called Jewish community. Unfortunately, we're cursed with the curse because of our disobedience. And there's a war going on between the black male and the black female, whether we like it or call it a war or not. We're always losing. See, we choose to go our own way because of the situation. But let me tell you something, gentlemen. No matter what, without the proper family structure, we always losing. You may say, oh, okay, well, that don't have nothing to do with me. I'm going my own way. I don't have no children. And that's a beautiful thing, brother. I'm not saying that. However, for the propagation of the species, for the survival of our genetic lines, for our ancestors' sake, I'm sorry, man. You may not like me for saying this. But without proper families, without a proper woman in submissive society, or a submissive woman in the proper society, we losing, brothers. We losing. And that's okay. We accept that loss. What we do is we adapt to the situation. See, pimping, BOA, was a response to feminism. Knowing how to manipulate the mind of women for your advantage was a response to feminism. She said, hey, I don't need no man. I don't need this. I don't need that. I can do fine by myself. As men, we are naturally attracted to women. We naturally want to dominate our women. We just found another way to do it. Just find another way to do it. This is nature, man. But our society is broken. We already heard. The average guy might not care. But it's a losing thing, man. And I just wish that we had something real and something tangible, man. So that's my soapbox, man. But yeah, that's what I would like. But I understand. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get BLACKRAM wrong. Don't get BLACKRAM wrong now. I'm no fool. I've been in this red pill game for years. I'm no fool. Take it from your brother BLACKRAM. I understand the time that we're living in and what must be done. And I understand, and I'm telling you, to answer your question once again, that we need to leave Black women alone. But I just don't want to make it seem like that it's out of some type of hatred. I don't hate Black women. I'm indifferent because I know she's not for us. She's not for us. Until we can change that, until our society can change, until this stronghold of white supremacy can end, she's our enemy. She's our enemy. Back to you, BOA.
Brother, that was both exhilarating, mind-blowing, disappointing, frustrating. I got sad a little bit in it. And then right at the end, I got uplifted again, bro. The thing that we must appreciate the Most High for is that he is making this transition easier for us by making us focus on the fact that they are, what I like to say, devaluing their blackness. You see, the weaves, they're not black, so they look less attractive to us with them. You see, all the paint on the face, it's not black, so it makes them less attractive to us. All of the huge bubble, you know, man, how low a woman must think of herself to feel like in order to compete with the women who she should view as beneath her feet, by enhancing the one advantage she already has on them, what would make a Black woman with a curvaceous body feel like her only recourse to compete with other women is to go and swell her butt more than it could ever be naturally, and now walk around here looking like a damn human dump truck? It does not make sense. But the Most High is generous. He is kind to us. He is making the woman who was made for us less beautiful to us more and more by the day. So there is a direction he will lead us. Who knows what it is? My granddad used to tell me all the time, every time man makes a plan, God just laughs his ass off. He says, does this fool not know that he doesn't make any decisions in his own life? That was deep, brother. Top-notch game. Let me send a shout out to the brother Milkman, the trucker, Michael L7, Loped Up John, and the brother C. Douglas, man, for donating to the super chat. All right, brother, we got one more here. We're going to get to the second part of that question there. Do you believe men could regain our position at the head of the Most High's table, even if we totally disconnected from this same Black woman who was originally created to be a part of our struggle?
Man, that's a good question, man. And thinking of that question, a scripture comes to mind, because you did mention the Most High, because we are Israelites up in here. Give me a second. Let me get this scripture real quick. I don't want to misquote it. Let me read this real quick. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pastor, are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord God. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 34, verse 31. What does that mean? That his flock, his pasture, who he deals with, the Most High, is men. He deals with men. The priests are men. In fact, it's only men that can come into the presence of the Most High when we look at the Torah. You had to be of the priesthood, which means you had to be male. And you can enter in, after certain rituals, you can enter in the holiest of holies as a man. She cannot go. She's considered unclean. Doesn't make her, I'm not trying to tell you that she's a bad creation, but she's unclean. She menstruates and she has discharge. Anybody know anything about Torah law? That you cannot go into the temple or the holiest of holies, of course, and you have any type of discharge. Okay. My point in saying that men are priests and the flock of his pasture are men is because the Most High deals directly with the men. We are the leaders of our nation. So any move, anything that's gonna happen is gonna happen with men. Women are of no consequence. See, it's men who build. It's a man who engineers a society. It's a man who creates infrastructure. It's men who advance technologies. It's men who build your arts up, your entertainment. It's men who build. Why? Because we reflect God. We are the creators, the pioneers. So everything comes through us. Now she is an accessory. I'm not one of those hotep simps who said, "What behind every good man is a good woman." Bull shit. Behind every good man is the Most High, and in front of him, he's our foundation and cornerstone. And as the scriptures say, iron sharpens iron. What a woman is a supporter of you, a servant, an employee. The company is built, and you come work for it. I'm the builder. She's the accessory. That's not putting her down. Not putting her down. That's that in which you were created. As a man goes out and conquer the world, she's there doing the cooking, the cleaning, the things that a man shouldn't have time for. Of course, we can be self-sufficient. Of course, we can. But my point is that she's in the background, we're in the forefront. We lead, she follows. So when our time comes, brother, when our time comes, when the society ends, when America falls, when these philosophies are no more, when gynocentrism and feminism is broken and shattered into pieces, when alpha men, sigma men, when men rise up, when the time comes when society collapses, and from their ashes comes something new, you better believe that new thing will be built on the shoulders of giants, champions, like every man within the sound of my voice. A day is coming now. Trouble don't last always. And when that new thing comes, we'll be left standing. Back to you, BOA.
Man, I could not have addressed that question better myself. My sentiments are exactly the same. I think we as black men in America have to understand that this is not the only country that houses beautiful black women. It is the only country that houses black women who are majority combative in by nature, adversarial, I don't need no man type mindset, who are supported fully by the government to destroy their own homes, their own communities, their own selves. You look out into the rest of the world, there are societies. And this is the thing we must understand. The Most High did. You look into the travels of the Israelites when they left Egypt. They didn't go into one land and settle. Once they left the wilderness, they went into the lands and took over a bunch of land.
Absolutely.
So the world is ours. when the Most High sends us out into it, you think he's going to send us somewhere and say, well, now you know, because the women in America were kind of crazy, I'm not going to give you any more. You're just going to sit out here and die as a group of men? No, brothers. We are chosen by the Most High. And as long as we know that this mindset is the one that we should have, it doesn't matter if it's 500 of us. It doesn't matter if it's 1,000 of us. With the power of the Most High. If Samson, I tell people this all the time, if Samson can slay 2,000 Philistines with the donkey of a jawbone, now granted, donkey of a jawbone is razor sharp on the edges, but still, 2,000 men, I'd be damn, man, if 100,000 of us can't take over the world, bro. So, man, we just have to be patient. Don't get caught up in this foolishness and understand that any hopes and dreams you have for the Americanized black woman, they are done, bro. It's over. Even if you find the most perfect one, the society we live in will not support your dominance over your household the way you need it to be done. Brother Black Ram, man, I appreciate you coming to the show, man. Blessing the people with insight into the man behind the ram and a few other things. It's been a stone cold blast, man. Now, the brother C. Douglas sent a super chat, man, and I know we both covered this in uploads before about the effect that having multiple women has on you, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, genetically. And just quickly, man, when you interact with all these women, you're not just interacting with those women. When you engage in intercourse with a woman, there is an imprinting process that happens. You leave parts of your DNA in that woman, and they will never leave her. They will die with her. And I imagine you could go in there when she's turning them bones and still scrape some of your DNA off her bones.
Absolutely.
You are inviting the DNA of other men into your own body, which does not give you more testosterone as you would think. It feminizes you. It has the same effect on your body that it has on her body, which is why when we're out there lusting after multiple women, woman after woman after woman, it becomes easier and easier for us to do it because we become more and more like the woman. We become a creature of who is led by our desires, our lust, our needs, our wants, anything that affects us and controls us physically. So that is my quick take on that. But I think I'll touch on that, man, in the upload here in the near future, man, because there are some scientific evidence to support that. A lot of scientific evidence. You know, some things done in the lab and some things done out in the field in practice. So I'll get into that a little bit later on, man. But I appreciate everybody coming through, brother. Anything you want to say, man, before we, try to wind this thing down and maybe get the people. You know what? You got a little minute here, bro. Let's get the people a few minutes.
Sure. I'm gonna step away just real quick, but yeah,
Okay.
I hang out with you for a little while longer.
All right, great. All right, man. So when the brother returns, man, y'all get your questions together, man, and we'll answer a few questions over here in the chat. We'll do that. Prime Man, good to see you in the chat, brother. I appreciate that. Oh, Ken 82 draw, man. It's hard not to be a cuck in that situation, man. Hard not to be a cuck. The brother looked up John. I don't think I sent you a shout out, man, for your super chat. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. The brother formerly known as John Wood from the East Side. Yeah, that's about my age range, man. 20. I'll go. I might go as young as 18, man. But 25 is my absolute cutoff. And she has to have some great potential to stick around until 25. Now, if I catch them earlier, hey, yo, it's coming, MAK, man. It's coming. It's coming, man. I'm really planning on. I actually, man, had to push back a studio session, man, from yesterday until the 8th. And I just been slacking around. I got so busy, man, that I stopped working on my home studio, man. So I think this is just a sign from the Most High, man, that If I want to be able to do this efficiently, I better go ahead and do that, man. But I think I mean, I got enough songs to go ahead and put one up now, man. So I think I will. There are just some songs that'll be included on the next one. But I think I'll go ahead and load it up next week, man, and put it out there, man. Make it happen.
Yeah, I'm back, brother.
All right, bet. All right, brothers. Let's get into some questions over here, man. We'll answer a few questions here. If you have questions for the brother Black Ram or myself, just load them up in the super chat over there, man. We'll address them accordingly. I appreciate it, Melanated Alpha King. Man, it seems like my chat rolling kind of slow, brother. Is yours rolling as slow as mine is?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, man, I feel like, I mean, I don't really know, what more, what other questions can be asked, man. Like, what do you eat for breakfast? You know what I'm saying?
I saw a comment, a question earlier. Somebody asked to explain Ibmore. So I'm
That's a
going to
good
do that
question.
real quick. And I see a couple other questions rolling in. We have to take note of them. I see Melanated Alpha King and
Okay.
mention that. But so I want to address that real quick. Ibmore, introspective black man of reform. Ibmore was a reaction to MGTOW. Now, again, a lot of you brothers don't realize this, but I've been involved in. I was never claiming MGTOW, but I've been involved in this community for a very, very long time. Uh, almost since its inception. Not saying I was the first, but I was right there when Barbarossa and Stardust and all of those guys came out. Way before Sandman. I was here way before Sandman, way before Big John and all of those guys, okay? Before they ever had a channel, way before Turn Fling and Monkey ever had a channel. I was here. All right. So what I saw in MGTOW, I saw it transform from a movement being just about male empowerment, revealing female nature, and talking against feminism and gynocentrism. I saw it evolve to a more conservative, white nationalistic brand. When us as black men would talk about the Freddie Grays and Philandro Castile at the time, the Trayvon Martins and all of that, these MGTOW men were very disrespectful and very hateful and even laughed at black men being shot down in the street. Was it all MGTOW? No. But a lot of these MGTOW guys were supporting very racist MGTOW. Some of the big names, I'm not going to call nobody out. This is not about beefing or firing those shots. I'm not into that. But there were MGTOW men, very popular MGTOW men. In fact, I'm going to say some of the most popular MGTOW men supporting very racist and ultra conservative and white nationalist content. Although they may not have mentioned on their channels, when you look in the comment section, they were very anti-black and very pro-white male. And that's fine. But when black men started to come out and talk about those things, they immediately got on the offensive. We're men, so there's no damn way we're going to be involved as men with a group of men, other men, particularly white men, who's going to be talking shit about us. And no disrespect to black men rocking the MGTOW label. If you say it's not about race, that's fine. But what we found out is that none of these so-called top MGTOWs ever called out the white MGTOW to check them on their racist rhetoric. Never. So us men with nuts said, no, man, we're not going to rock no MGTOW label. And if you do, that's your business. And we're not going to associate with them on that level. Now, I still have a lot of respect for some MGTOW guys. And we have actually, throughout the years, have had dialogues with MGTOW men. And not all of them are a part of that racist rhetoric. However, the philosophy is great. So we decided, because of a guy named Adigon Forrest, and actually was the last Crucible who spearheaded it, we decided that, hey, we're going to create a space for us as black men to talk about our issues and still hold fast to some of the core principles in MGTOW. So what Ibmore is about is black male empowerment first. Now, do we still deal with MGTOW, and do I still watch MGTOW channels and all that? Of course. Nothing wrong with that. However, we wanted a space to where we didn't have to fight against white men when we talked about those things that ail us as black men, because we have a particular set of issues that they don't have. And not that we were needing them to be sympathetic or empathetic to our issues, they were antithetical and adversarial to our issues. So we wanted to have our own space. So we said, okay, we're going to not rock Ibmore as a label, which I never did anyway. And we're not going to deal with MGTOW per se, but we're going to go our own way and create a space for black men. Now, within the mix of that, some things got misconstrued. What got misconstrued is the ideal concept versus the real concept. Now, Adigun Forrest, myself, and other Ibmores, we believe in leaving the black female alone, the American black female. And what we said is ideally now, it would be a beautiful thing to maybe in another country or somewhere else have a relationship with a black woman. No legal marriage, but none of those things. And a lot of guys came against us for saying something like that, not realizing that, hey, if as a man you want a woman, we're not talking about a legal contract. There's no way it more supports a legal contractual marriage. No way. But we believe as a man, if you want to deal with women, fine. Deal with them in strength and in power and at a distance. If you don't want to deal with a female, fine. But a lot of guys, because they like beefs, they like mess, they said, you know what? Forget it more. And they misconstrued our concepts and our ideas and misrepresented them. And then what we found is, and it's no big thing, what we found is it's easy for black men to rock a MGTOW label, but they were afraid to rock an Ibmore label. And Ibmore was for all black men. In association with MGTOW, yes, that's fine. But we found out that men were very afraid. So then we had all other groups, no disrespect to them, we had other groups coming out, other acronyms and other names, but Ibmore was first. We're the first people to break off and say, hey, this is for black men. And then we had other groups follow after that. Ibmore was first. Now, if you don't want to rock the Ibmore label, fine. My only problem is that, and my question is, again, I'm not here to disrespect men. I'm not here to fight, war, beef. I talk to MGTOW guys. I'm cool with MGTOW guys. I'm cool with all of these guys, and ain't no beef, no problem now. So don't go back talking about BLACKRAM was talking about MGTOW. I'm not saying that. But the only question I have is, can firmly rock a MGTOW label, but when it comes to your own brothers, it's a problem. You're afraid or you don't like to. All of a sudden, you got men saying, well, I ain't a part of the group, but you got MGTOW on your label. And Ibmore is the same as MGTOW. It's just for black men. Not necessarily to the exclusion of the MGTOW philosophy, but it's for black men. But then I have guys say, oh, well, you call yourself all these other acronyms, but they ain't going to say when it comes to Ibmore, I don't want to label myself. So you know what? I love my brothers. I let my brothers be brothers. I know everybody on the same page, everybody in empowerment. And that's fine. If a person don't want to rock a label, I get that. Only thing is that those who rock labels like MGTOW, why are you afraid to rock Ibmore? But hey, that's what it is. So Ibmore is introspective black men of reform, and it's about us first. Not necessarily to the complete exclusion to all others, but it's for us first. And I like to say that my channel is for all men. However, there are a certain set of circumstances and issues that we must talk about that affects us and not other men. Now, all American women are trash, but like I said earlier, 70% single mothers, 51% disease rate, 1,700 abortions a day. It's a little bit different than everybody else, a little bit different. And when we are gunned down in the middle of the street by racist white cops, when there are issues that affect us as a race, because you're a man first and you're a black man second, makes it want us to overlook us being black men. Now, how can you do it? How can you go to bed every day as a black man talking about you ain't no black man and race don't matter and all this other stuff, and MGTOW just about men, and you cool with that, and you cool with racist MGTOW talking crazy about you? Hey man, I don't know how you sleep at night, but hey, that's on you. And I ain't going to war with you. I ain't mad at you. But as alpha men, as men, we say, hey, you know what? We're gonna have our own space. We're gonna rock our own labels. We're gonna make our own thing. But some guys actually have a problem with us making our own thing. Now think about that. Men, black men have a problem with us making our own thing. So you rather be like Martin Luther King and just, engage with racist MGTOW. Now, again, I have MGTOWs that I actually talk to on the phone personally. There are white MGTOWs that I'm very cool with. They support my channel, I support theirs. But since they can never check that racist element, do your own thing, man. Again, that's a problem for some people. But hey, it is what it is. Back to you, BOA.
All right, man. We got a question here from the brother CJTTM. What do you feel about black women going their own way? Pretty much.
There's no such thing.
Yeah.
A black woman can't go her own way because either she's gonna follow her man, A, or B, follow society. She's a follower by nature. A woman doesn't have her own mind. She's a copy of what the scriptures say and what a man says, or she's a copy of society. I dare you to find a woman who has unique and original thought. I dare you to find a woman who can, off the top of her head, tell you what her principles are and what she stands for and what she truly believes in. Off the cuff. I ain't talking about waiting 30 minutes. I ain't talking about going to get a self-help book. Women need direction. They have no direction. They are followers, not leaders. And even in her feminism, even in her gynocentrism, she's still following the program that's been set out for her by white supremacy. She's still following a program. She's not guiding herself. Who you think put Planned Parenthood in the communities? Who you think gave her feminism? She's programmed. She's not strong. She's not powerful. She's been weaponized. Yes. She's our enemy. Yes. But she can do nothing on her own. She can't go her own way. It's impossible for a woman to do anything on her own. Everything she is, everything she thinks, everything she has is the product of you. When she wipe her booty, a man made the tissue. When she eat her food, the spoon, the knife, the fork, the food going into her mouth is courtesy of a man. The bed she sleeps on, the car she rides in, the cell phone she looks at, the earphone she listens to, the television screen that she sees, even the air she breathes, because the Most High is a man, even the air she breathes has been given to her. Everything. Again, that's no put down. That's just the nature of a thing. So a woman can't do anything on her own. Out of everything that's ever been invented, let me slow it down. Out of everything that has ever been invented, a woman has created nothing except added on to maybe 100 things. Now think about everything that's ever been created in the whole history of mankind. Less than 100 things a woman has had an idea or pioneered, and 80 or 90% of those things a woman has invented is a complement to something that has already been invented. So sorry, a woman can't go her own way. She don't have her own mind. She's not created like that. The Most High created her emotional, created her to be the weaker vessel, created her to follow. Now, again, that's not a put down. You think I'm gonna sit up here and say that it's a bad thing for a woman to be a bad thing? How a woman was created by the Most High? Are you crazy? The problem is that a woman should be, how can I say it, in a support to you, not a competitor. When a woman is being a woman, that's the most beautiful thing in the world. Can't nothing beat that. When she's trying to be anything but that, now we got a problem. So yeah, a woman can't go her own way. No such thing. And here go the thing. The whole idea of her saying she going her own way is not even original. She got that from us. So if she says she going her own way, where do you first hear that from? Men. And for those who think that MGTOW was started by white boys, black men been going their own way forever. Before MGTOW. Back to you, BOA.
Man, I can add to that, man. It's simply, women are copycats, man. If you leave them in a room by themselves, they just sit there. They have nothing to do. They can't come up with anything creative. Lock a woman in a room, and you could probably leave tools in there to get out with some of them. Leave a hairpin in there with them. They can't ever figure out to stick the hairpin in the lock. Hell, they're trying to stick it in their hair to keep the hair out their face so they can be comfortable. When black women decided they were going to go their own way, they didn't do it when they thought that, when white men were the face of MGTOW. They did it because they looked at black men and said, oh, you're going your own way? Well, let me show you I can do it too. Oh, you got your own business? Let me show you I can do it too. Oh, you can have as many sexual partners as you want to. Let me show you I can do it too. The problem with the black woman is she believes in this idiotic mindset that she enhances her own feminine self-worth by being more like a man. It's to the point where even if they get right, how can we ever overlook all of this foolishness that they've done over the years? Like, who wants to overlook that? Who wants to look at a woman and say, you know what? You spent about 15 years of your life ridiculing yourself, embarrassing yourself, doing everything in your power to be more like a man, inviting that spirit into you, and now you want to change around? No, I don't want that. It's kind of like having a car. Somebody selling you a brand new car, but the motor's rebuilt. It's not actually a brand new car, but they still want you to pay the same price for it. Oh, hell no, man. That's not going to work. That's not going to work at all. So shout out to the brother Red Pill Lifesaver, man, for the super chat. Appreciate it, brother. All right, we got one more question for you here, Ram.
All right.
The brother Melanated Alpha King says, BR313, do you think we need to do something regarding the beta male in America? And I answer that, do you think there's anything we can do about the beta male in America?
We are doing something. We are rallying, we are bringing together like-minded red pill men. Beta male simps are 95 to 99 percentile. It's us against the whole of society. And with those odds, we can't win. But what we can do is each one teach one. I know it sounds cliche. Most beta males you can't change. But all we can do to make our mark is create as many channels like mine and Book of AlphaRonomy. And if you are not a content creator, I don't beg for money. BOA don't beg for money. But what your support does is you're doing your part to keep brothers motivated and able to keep this from going forth. You said this before, BOA. I'm going to repeat it. My thoughts too. The succubus, they will support each other. There's a reason why Steve Harvey and Tyler Perry is rich. It's the reason why old boy Mr. Jackson got his following and got his money. So in this war, what we have to do is support red pill content, not just me, not just Book of AlphaRonomy, but with $1, $2. Again, I don't beg for money, man. I got a job. But my point is that supporting by watching, supporting by thumbs up, supporting by commenting, supporting by donating, supporting by watching all of the videos. That's our part in this war because it's only a small amount of us. And since it's a small amount of us, we must be fortified. I wish Ghost God, Shay Morpheus, Red Pill Lifesavers, Negro Ninja, Guy King, I Am Ball. I wish that we could move this venue off of YouTube and have conferences, travel, do the things that other men in the manosphere are doing to try to create even more red pill content, to really grow this thing for ourselves. The succubus, the feminists, the simps, they have media, television, social media. They have all of the mainstream stuff. All we have is this little sector of YouTube. And one day they may turn the lights out on us. Then what would you have? So it's important to support content creators. It's important to listen, to share if somebody crossed your path, because you are the only one that may be able to talk to a guy about red pill stuff. It's called a sphere of influence. So the war and what we can do is support each other and hopefully one day move the discussion and not have to be subject to, YouTube censorship, and we can talk candidly and even empower ourselves. Network. There are some brilliant men amongst this brotherhood, amongst the red pill brotherhood, who have all type of talents and means to do things. I hope and pray and wish that one day we get serious. Listen, I've been in this game again since 2013 and been listening to it since about 2011. And when I first started my YouTube channel, when I first listened, there was literally no red pill manosphere for black men. A few guys were doing videos in their living room. Just a handful. But now this thing has grown by leaps and bounds. I'm proud to be a part of that community. So what we can do, again, is support, and keep the information going. So that's my response. That's my answer.
Man, deep, bro. Deep. All out there. Man, we want to thank everybody for coming through. We were expecting this thing, man, to wrap up in 2 hours, BR313, but as you can see, we're approaching our third hour here. Can't put a timestamp on good game, I don't guess, man.
Man.
So, man, it was real, brother. I mean, I really appreciate you coming through, man, and being candid, man. That's the main thing, man. Coming through and being willing to be candid with the brothers, man, and letting them introducing everybody to the man behind the ramp. Because I mean, we all know who Black Ram 313 is. Now we know how Black Ram 313 was created.
Yes, sir.
And that opens up, that gives everyone in here, I know I'm speaking for everyone, that gives everyone a newfound respect for the content that you create, because we know for a fact that it comes from the spirit of a man who has been there, who has seen it, who has experienced it, the good and the bad.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no sugarcoating. And I'll be honest with you, bro, I don't like sugar. I'm black. I had to lay off sugar. So I appreciate the lack of sugarcoat. So anything you want to say to the people, bro, before we wind this thing up?
Yeah, I just like to thank everybody for tuning in and watching, man. Everybody who came over from my channel. If you come over from my channel and you are not subscribed to the Book of AlphaRonomy, I'm asking you to do so. The Book of AlphaRonomy is the real deal. Um, we hope to do this again. Melody Alpha King says, any future interviews for BLACKRAM313? I don't have any plans to be interviewed, but I do have some interviews coming up on my channel. Hopefully, plan to get Kevin Samuels on to talk about style and game. I plan, most high willing, to do a few live streams myself soon, talking about a few things. And Melanie King said also the AMS interview is going to be live, whatever it happens. Melanie King already did an interview with Alpha Male Strategies. You can check out my channel for that. It was fire. Let me just read what Mr. Limber says, BOE, real quick. It says, we are the red pill alphas, the prophets to our people, the last man standing. Don't stop till our heart stop. Make disciples to make disciples. Absolutely, Mr. Limber. Absolutely. So yeah, again, I'm gonna try to keep the fire going on my channel. BOA, he's gonna keep the fire going on his channel, man. And for 2018, most high willing, we're gonna keep it up. We're gonna keep preaching to the brothers. We're gonna keep giving of ourselves to our brothers. We're gonna try to keep it pushing. And again, every last one of your subscribers, BOA, every last one of my subscribers, this is all about you guys. We here for you. The excitement was talking amongst each other with you guys listening and watching. So I want to take that time to take out and say thank you to every last one of you who have commented, those who are just listening, all the content creators, all the commenters. I appreciate you guys, and I hope we can keep this up a little longer. I'd like to thank you again, Book of AlphaRonomy. Brother, I got much respect for you, your wisdom, what you stand for. I see you really have a heart for our people. You really have a heart for men, and you're doing this work. You're doing what you can on your end to strengthen and empower the brotherhood. So on behalf of all of us and myself, I would like to personally thank you. I think you're a great man. I support you, brother. I plan on doing this again in the future. I'm rocking with your channel. In my mind, and I'm gonna say this to everybody listening, in my mind, my channel runs tandem and along with Book of AlphaRonomy. So if you're rocking with me, you gotta be rocking with him, man. Gotta be. We in this together. So that's about it, man. Much love to all the brothers.
Man, the support and respect is mutual, brother. And I wouldn't be, if brothers didn't know me and know you and hadn't heard that, you give me the mutual respect, then they'd probably think, man, I was some type of BR313 groupie, man. I don't think I'd go a week, man, without mentioning some content you said, or whenever you upload, there's something I can mention from a recent video or something, man. So yeah, I appreciate that, brother, and it's most certainly mutual. Brother Mr. Limbo channel, man. Appreciate the super chat, as well as MGPX Beats. There will probably be more Black Ram on the channel in the future. Matter of fact, I'm not going to say probably. You will see the brother here at some point. Yes. And Melanated Alpha King, Yeah, I do plan on doing an ANMS video, man. Whenever I can get the brother here, he seems to be a very busy man, but uh, that is in the works, man. I plan on getting the brother over here, and do not expect the same questions for him that you got for the brother BOA, because to the brother Black Ram, because they will not be the same. So whenever I can get him here, man, I keep you guys posted on it. But today, it's all about the brother BLACKRAM313 coming through, making himself available to the manosphere for 3 whole hours. Like, who has 3 whole hours to dedicate to something unless they truly have love for it?
Yes.
Brother, I appreciate you. Salute you, man. Keep doing what you do, man. Keep providing that content. And hopefully have you again on the channel soon, man. And if you need me for anything, brother, let me know and I'll be there.
Appreciate it, bro.
To everyone else, man, I appreciate you coming through. Avoid the betas, avoid the haters, avoid the fakers, and stay away from these undeserving, unwilling to submit black women. But above all else, as always, alphas up, betas down. Peace.